All right, and hello everyone. Welcome into Nucleus, Tetrio Teams Cup's premier event of the summer. We've got our 5-on-5 crew battle formats already well underway, and we're here with Fitzy to help commentate over our top 8. So Fitzy, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, Dave. It sounds like you're doing great, and
I'm doing fantastic.
We're going to get into these top 8 matches very shortly.
So, for those who haven't been keeping track of Battle 5, there's been a lot of great sets happening, although it's a little bit difficult to grab that from the overall set, because with all of these sets being like first to one between each individual like matchup, it makes these sets very dynamic in that, opener play can have very high peaks. Obviously, if you have like a 5 PPS opener, you can take games off of just about anyone. And if you only have a team with 1 or 2 top players, that puts you at a pretty severe risk of, if one player goes down, that could be most of your firepower. But it also works on the flip side where, you might have some high highs, but if you're relying on those to earn games, you might not have a lot of consistency to fall back on as well. But, it's a first to one set, anything can happen.
Yeah, that's a very good point that you make, Davo, about the consistency with these teams, and that's why some teams will be seated on the lower end even when they have a player of Firestorm's caliber. But that's the thing too, is that sometimes having a super strong player on your team gives you the potential to make those huge upsets, even though it does come at the cost of consistency over the course of an entire bracket, for sure.
Yeah, and actually, as you mentioned that as well, because right now the team that Firestorm is playing, Cornflowers, seed 12, they are unfortunately out just shy of top 8, having getting upset by, I think, Misdrop Mayhem, which is a 14 seed that has earned their way into our top 8. And then I think we have another team as well as our 16 seed fighting for a top 8 spot. So a lot of just very crazy matchups. We also had our seed 18 very nearly make top 8. That would have been seed 14 versus 18 in our losers bracket, which happening that far into the losers bracket is absurd to think of.
Yeah, that would be a very exciting dynamic for sure.
But yeah, things were a little bit more stable on the winner's side, as many of our top seeds basically have entire teams composed of high X to X plus players. I think only our 1 seed has all 5 players at X plus being in our top 100. But the fact that we've got, there are probably over half the X plus players right now that are participating in this event, whether they're on teams of, equal skill level, or in Firestorm's case where they were kind of like the captain of that team carrying a lot of the weight. But I mean, just the fact that we have this many players of that kind of a caliber participating in this format makes it very, very exciting to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, yeah, it's the top 4 seeds all making it to the top 4 of the winner side. And yeah, I mean, all of the players of our next upcoming match starting to fill into the room right now. And it seems like we're getting the first seed Team Stare versus the 4th seed, the Square Pushers, or just Team Square Pusher, I suppose. And what's really neat about the first seed team is that all 5 of these players on this team, they did a little collab similar to what people like to do on those two, where all of their profile pictures, you can see it right there. All of them have the cat in this superimposed. I love how Turtle's PFP, the cat's skin is green to make it look more like a turtle. I think that's really cute.
It's got the turtle shell on the top left too, yeah.
Yeah, and then the PCOs is changed to represent the flag of the Holy See.
Yep, and then
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. Tetos has the Teto hair, I think.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair as well, for those who are not up to, is obviously Nucleus is a new name. Last year, the equivalent tournament of this was called Fractal, and the team that ended up winning it was kind of they're not the full team this year. They're kind of a spitting image of Deer Team 2, which I think is our 3 seed. They all coordinated profile pictures from a particular anime, and I guess that's what gave them the leg up. They might have been one of 2 teams, I think, that entire brackets coordinate profile pictures. But in other team formats, for example, Copa Naciones, we had a lot of players coordinate profile pictures, and in grand finals, I think it was the 2 strongest teams that, again, all had coordinated profile pictures. I think one of them was almost identical profile pictures. They just had tiny little edits in them, and then the other was just Mario Kart 8 characters and then just like had people based on their role, which was really cool. But honestly, yeah, I think the profile pick collabs are a really big part of some of the team synergies.
Oh yeah, no, it's so awesome seeing that kind of like that synergy, not just as players, but like as people too, in a way, and it adds that little extra layer of like not necessarily intimidation, but more so just like, oh, they're for real, like they're really about it. They're going for it all.
Yep. And so, although there is no coordinated profile pick for sure, their team logo was the Osu logo, particularly because they're
all Osu players.
Secondary hobby. Well, maybe not secondary hobby, depending on the person on the team, but definitely a very strong presence nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, Caboozle Pie, I don't remember if his peak is, if he's hit 3-digit yet or not, but either way, like, very close to it, which, you know, for being the #2 ranked player on all of Tetria right now, super proficient with all spins. Probably has some world records on quick play as well. Being able to make it that far in the game as competitive as Osu Standard is pretty impressive, while also juggling the college, you know, on the UCLA team on Osu, because that's a thing they added recently. They had the Osu Teams feature. So
the Osu team as well as the CTL team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I don't remember how well UCLA did in CTL, but I would not be surprised if they won the whole thing.
Yeah, I think they were definitely. Wait, I'm pretty sure I casted for one of the sets. I'm trying to remember if they were. I don't want to call this and get it wrong though, because like I was there, I should know this.
Yeah. Nah, exactly. I was there for like the first CTL, and then like I was no longer involved in it. Like I remember when it wasn't like individual teams per college. Like I remember when it was like more of like a region-based thing. So like even though there were no other Tetris players at the school that I was at, I was still able to play in it and represent a region, and that was really fun.
Yeah. I do think like supporting a little bit of like the individual is also a bit beneficial, but I do understand like it is kind of important to like have that like aesthetic.
Yeah,
like, it just depends on.
Have it actually be a collegiate event if you're going to brand it as such. And you know, it was nice seeing UMD compete in the most recent CTLs as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've been expanding every season, although I will point out, in typical college fashion, a week before all the team registrations were due, they only had 2 sign-ups. So,
yeah,
everybody's waiting till the last minute.
In typical college fashion, you're not wrong.
The amount, like, I thought, like, procrastination, like, when I saw, like, people that I knew in high school was bad. No, it was tremendously worse when I got to college.
Yeah, when they don't have parents pushing them to go to bed at a certain time or remind them to do XYZ thing. But, you know, we're actually getting our players set up for this match here. We're getting the players picked out. So, Caboozle Pie says, Nathan Ram, all you.
Well,
first one warm-up. I don't know.
That's definitely one way to get things started. And so, I guess we're allowed to warm-ups, but and Gohan said no warm-up despite not playing in the first round. Which you know, I think that's reasonable. I wouldn't warm up before someone else is about to play a match. I don't know. I mean, I guess if Gohan really wants to warm up, you could probably just dip out now real quick and go play some Sprint or something. But
yeah, that is true. I think like there's a feature. I don't know if it applies to custom rooms or if it's just to like the old quick play style, like the old battle royale style, where it's like while other people are playing, you can play Zen. I don't know if you can do that in like this kind of custom room.
Well, there is the Zen button on my screen, so I think we could, but I'm definitely not gonna.
Yeah, and we're just getting it started right now. No warm-up or anything. We just have Nathan Ram versus Kasane Teto. Nathan Ram, SS rank, but...
Oh, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled.
Okay, very solid ST. This player's better than I am. Oh my god.
Yep. Had to break back-to-back a little bit as Teto's initial attack sent a little bit too much damage to keep up the LST. I think is looking for a way to try and grab it back, but right now there's a bit of cheesy garbage in the center, so there hasn't been too much opportunity to get it up and running again.
Oh my god, Nathan Ram maintaining almost 4 PPS here. Like, actually, like, outplaying Kasai Teto in the speed department, but not necessarily in the cheese department because Kasai Teto already back at the bottom of the board. But Nathan Ram working through the cheese very effectively right now. Both that eyepiece misdrop, well, the J and eyepiece misdrop going to be very difficult to work through.
Oh my god!
Oh, it's even more
combo.
Yeah, no, that was just too much to be able to handle. And
about to get like the 5-piece chicken tender combo, and just, unfortunately there were way too many mistakes on the route.
Yeah, it was just too much in the end, but very impressive showing from Nathan Ram. I was not expecting the 4 PPS LST gaming to go on for that long.
Yeah, so in case you're wondering as well, and I actually went and took a look at this as well myself. So they have only done their placement, which is part of why the TR is a little bit on the lower end.
Oh, I see stats now. Oh, 124 APM, 3.47 PPS, top 105 million blast. Okay, I see now. Top 100 in Xenopix
top 100 in Season 1, if I'm not mistaken, or at least close to.
I literally looked at the TL. I literally just looked at the TL and I was like, oh, okay. No, this player's better than me. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, again, it's a very strong, prominent player. Didn't have a reason to play Tetra League, and so, just didn't. But obviously for this event, they needed to have some sort of a TR.
He was unranked before this tournament.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure all these placement matches were done within the past week.
Yeah. It's like, oh, SS is faster than me. Yeah, that like, quote-unquote SS player, faster than some X Plus players, honestly. But, yeah, Nathan Ram going down, but getting replaced with Dorami, who, still a very strong player in their own right.
Yeah, Dorami is one of the few top players that still plays with 40 soft drop as well. A little bit of the guideline influence in their playstyle, but very happy to see them continue to do so.
Very good all-spin vision. 12 back-to-back already. This is going to be very difficult for Teto to come back from, I think, if Dorami continues this pressure, which is somewhat likely here already at 16, finding the forecast in the next TSD. 25 spike, and that's just too much to deal with.
And you can see as well, like, even though Dorami could have built up a little bit more, they realized that board state that Teto had at the end wasn't really the best to tank immediately, and so just, took in the entire surge, sent in a little bit of extra garbage, and just let the surge fly, and that's enough to immediately bring things back 4-4.
Yeah, for sure. Playing it over 200 APM that set, like, getting that massive surge to 25 spike, and Dorami looking poised and ready for this next round. But it's one thing I'm noticing right now is that, like, the consistency is just, like, so important in this format for each player, because, like, it's possible for teams to make comeback, get behind and make the comeback, but, for, like, individual players, you only have one shot. So, like, for an individual player to make maximum impact, you have to make every single round count. And Dorami getting a C-spin opener ×3 now. Good donation with the S-piece, but the I-piece misdrop looking really bad for Dorami, and that's what I'm talking about. You make one mistake like that, and your contributions to the set are all over.
Yep, and, just as quickly as the first round ends, so does another 12-second round where, Stare is back at 4 players left. Square deciding who to send in next.
Yes, looks like Square sitting in Rumka.js, which some of you may not know. The number 16 player in Tetra League, but also the famous Osu tournament legend Malashevsky. So that's just really impressive.
So this is the... Alright, this goes by other names.
Being able to play at, like, a top 20 level in, like, multiple games as competitive as this is just ridiculous. But, enough about Osu, onto the Tetrio, showing why Rumka.js from Poland making his way into the top 8 of this tournament, but PCO, that was sizable attack there.
Yeah, a little bit of a surge. I'm not going to do too much at this point. I'm able to do... Okay, well, never mind. I stand corrected. And, you've had a pretty good correct statement that one misdrop could just very quickly end your contribution, but PCO is honestly just, I think, started off with 4 PPS LST, just kept it clean the whole time, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, PCO taking out 2 players in a row here, both Dorami and Rumka.js. Two players who are probably higher in
okay.
TR than PCO, not by much. Like, PCO is still a top 45 player, very impressive. But yeah, that last round, 233 APM, and now coming up against Caboozle Pie, the current #2 player right now, former #1 for like a while.
I do find it interesting they're sending Cab in, because a lot of players tend to go lowest TR to high. Cab actually asked for a warm-up, but it only works in the first match of each crew battle, so fortunately for Cab, just going to have to go right into it.
No, okay, only for the first one. That does make sense.
Oh, now we have a battle of patience.
Yeah, now we're going to time it, see who is making it first. But Cab going for the all-spin solution here, building up the surge.
Cab does find a bit of all spins to keep it going, so I will say, like, did end up kind of breaking the patience truce first, but I definitely think was a good time to do it. Like, they considered all of their options before going all in on the resources.
Yeah, and went all in with the 31 spike, but PCO able to survive that, maintaining at the bottom of the board. But the LP's misdrop, question mark? I mean, it's still not too bad at all.
Well, Cab might have ST stacking going at the moment. I think trying to build LST, but Gamble's a little bit over on that right side.
That's still not out just yet.
That was definitely a scary gamble. Had quite a lot of lines to contribute, but PCO didn't have any sort of a follow-up to keep that pressure up.
Yeah, but the back-to-back top stage is breaking it now, but PCO still so cheesed up, it's going to be so hard to bring this back. But that 8-9 combo, PCO somehow able to make it out of that. But Cab is absolutely unrelenting on the pressure right now.
Cab still got Surge going.
But cut to 11!
Yep, and there it goes. The Surge gets sent, but PCO manages to hold over to the eyepiece in time, so they're not going to be out just yet.
Is PCO going to be able to find another down stack? No, that's not enough. Cab is going to bring this back.
Yeah, but a minute and a half of a fight out of PCO. I know we've seen a couple of sets where, like, they tend to, like, I think PCO seems inconsistent on paper, but just has such a good track record for tournament. It is really extremely impressive.
So far, the best performance of this top 8, taking out 2 players, pushing Cab for like a minute and a half, making the outcome of that match very uncertain, finding a 9 combo down stack out of that situation that looked absolutely hopeless for a second there. And now it's a matter of who's going to be sent out next. But I think
it's between Turtle and Gohan right now, which I think between the 3 of them, I'm pretty sure they're all top 10, if not top 5. Let's take a look at this here. I don't even have to look up these individual players. I can just look up Tetra League.
Yeah, I think the question is between Gohan and Turtle, because personally, I think like you want to like put your like weaker players towards the middle, but when you're playing against a player like Cab, this is like their juggernaut. I'm surprised that this wasn't the anchor. So we'll see. What?
Yeah. So.
Oh wait, we have.
No,
Tendo already played. It's between Gohan, Turtle, and Vince. My bad.
Yeah. So so Vince is number 5, Turtle's number 3, Gohan is number 1, and Cab is number 2. Who's currently like they're locked in right now. They have to play this.
Yeah, I feel like no matter who they send out, we're about to get a ridiculous 1-1 on our heads.
And then where's
they're sending Vince, I think. But yeah, PCO put Team Stare in a very favorable position in this set, and I think it's really interesting how earlier you were saying how like teams like to send out their like go from like weakest to strongest in terms of the order of their players, because like what I thought was gonna happen was they would like to start out with like a decently strong player for like their point, and then save the strongest player for like an anchor, and have the weaker players go to the middle. But like as I'm seeing this current set unfold, I think I'm starting to understand why they went from weakest to strongest now. Because if you send, like, your weakest players at the wrong point, it just won't work out for you.
Alright, so there's apparently a bit of confusion. Some people thought certain matches were warm-ups and not. Looks like it's going to be Vince going in for Team Stare. A win from Cab would put this set at 3-3, or I guess 2 players alive on both sides. But given that Cab is kind of the well, like I don't want to discredit like Reviclia, but Cab being number 2 is like kind of the highest ranked player for. It's oh boy. Oh, I don't like that misdrop at all.
Oh yeah, no, Cab making quick work of that, pushing this down to a 2-2 set between these two teams. Cab putting in some work of his own right, but is he going to be able to keep it up versus both Gohan and Turtle? We'll have to see.
Yeah, taking down 2 quick players brings things back to even, but now it's, you know, like, congratulations, you've won against the 5th ranked player on the ladder. Now you've got 1st and 3rd still left. And, oh boy. Okay, so I think Gohan now just wants a crack at this. I think Gohan is going in next round.
Oh, interesting.
So
I was expecting them to send Turtle, but at the same time, if Gohan has a better head-to-head versus Kaboozled, since like once you reach like that top 3, top 5 range of the TL, like
this is a top 2 match. It's like...
Yeah, this is ridiculous right now. I just meant like save Gohan for last, but like if you have like the kind of like set history to know has the better head-to-head, then like it probably makes a lot of sense to send Gohan in right now.
But both of these players as well, like, I don't think we've really seen them play each other a lot, at the very least within, like, the tournament format. So I do think this is going to be it's going to be a little bit of a nice prelude to, you know, if we'll be seeing them at TWC. That's a lot for...
Yeah, that was almost 4.8 PPS, 300 APM. That was like, there's probably a 40 spike somewhere. Gohan going absolutely nuclear right now.
Oh my goodness,
absolutely closing the chapter on that.
550 verses from Gohan in that last round. Just
absolutely
obliterated that board state. And like, Cab honestly was almost able to get through to it, but unfortunately, I think missed an all-spin and then had a hold to an eyepiece, and there was just no ability to skim through it. So now that that's done, Gohan, #1 player ranked in the world at this point, and leader Reviclia is currently the last player standing.
Yeah, so is Reviclia going to be able to make it through Gohan and Turtle, both current top 3 players? I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, you know, Reviclia is a ridiculous player in their own right, but that is starting to look like a bit of a tall order right now as Team Stare is starting to really solidify the edge here.
Yeah, and to be fair, for those who don't know Reviclia's current general play style, they're basically like kind of like de facto best with like invis or reverse invis mod, and what was the other one that they were also like Reviclia has been like able to carry like single-handed 2 or 3 of the quick play mods to like first place for like a week before anyone else caught up, basically.
I remember that he had the supercharged record for a while.
Okay, so the number 6 is supercharged. Yeah, block rationing, and yeah, like has an exile that's higher than most people's normal invisible mod, which is just unbelievable.
How high is it? Do you remember, like roughly?
On the profile, it says 2.6k meters. That's 2,600 meters.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know if I even hit 1k with invisible. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, most people don't have a 410.
That was super good garbage for Reviclia just now. Oh my goodness. Our back-to-back top 6, but
yep. Oh,
yeah, Gohan just still outspeeding anyways. It's just but the misdrops. Oh no.
You can see both Reviclia and Gohan able to build up that surge insanely quick, but it's really just going to come down to who has it at the right time or when they need it.
Yeah, because Gohan's just playing so fast and just gets out of these situations so quickly that it's just like so difficult to contest with, no matter how perfectly you play. And no matter how good the garbage is that you receive. But I mean, Letta's putting on a solid performance right now, getting the C-spin right there, and Gohan good response. We've seen stack of his own here, starting to build it back to back again. But the 22 spike.
The gamble on getting a early, but Gohan has the spike in time. So that will be, and again, this is our winners semifinals, by the way. We still have another one just like this coming up soon. But Team Stare, as our 1 seed, is going to emerge victorious against Square Pusher, sending them into the losers bracket. And with a performance like that, I mean, Cab definitely looks like a very scary threat. to whichever team they end up going up against next, and definitely going to keep that on the back foot. But man, what a performance there! I think because it was, Gohan took 2, and then who was it? Who else also took 2 games from it? Was it
PCO? Took 2. Yeah,
so
PCO took 2
as well. Which, to be fair, like PCO taking 2 players and then still having 3 top 5 players on the team is just insanity.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot to deal with. Definitely a tall order to overcome there. When, Gohan is just, sure, he'll misdrop sometimes, but, he's just so fast and just fixes everything so quickly that, no matter how well you play, no matter how lucky you get with the garbage, it's just impossible to do anything. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if Gohan's, always been playing like this or for a while, but I've been noticing this with his gameplay recently, it appears to me as if he's using, a really low dash. And, his gameplay looks kind of,
does it?
slippery and, frantic to me. But,
I haven't really
I could be totally wrong about that.
Into.
That's just what I've noticed recently, where it's it looks kind of slippery and frantic, but it's working, and he is playing really fast, almost like Westel kind of fast. Which speaking of Westel, we're gonna see him at some point in this match, I'm sure.
Yep. Well, Westel sporting, I believe, Tier Team 2, which will be taking off against Rounded Trolling. We'll be getting both of these teams next up on stream. So this is our Seed 2 and Seed 3. So if you thought our last matchup there and Square Pusher was insane, we've got, basically the same thing coming at you again. Just, round dose.
It's here more competitive. Okay, Gohan uses 5.7. Okay, it's not that crazy. I don't know why, I don't know why Gohan's gameplay looks like 4-frame dash to me. I don't know why. I may have just taken too long away from this, watching this top level play. I don't know. We'll see. It's good to be back, though. It's great to be back.
I mean, we generally see, between, 4 and 5 or 4 and 6, depending on, the level of play generally. I feel like people generally have hovered around, 5 or something around there. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. 5-frame dash. Yeah, that makes sense. I currently use 6 myself, and I feel like if I, really put in the effort to become the best player that I possibly could be, I probably could adjust to 5, but it's
yeah.
I remember already crashing out big time when I was switching from 7-frame to 6-frame, and so
yep.
I'm not sure if I'm ready to do that just yet. I'll leave it to the professionals,
Yeah, well, again, it's also now coming to the point where especially in Westel's case, Westel definitely you notice the really, really low dash in these cases, but Westel almost needs it because of how much they're relying on their speed, and yes, they're getting faster and faster, but honestly, I think they're just getting more and more technical with their play and just figuring out what is the least amount of time I have to wait before I get my pieces where I need them to go.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, players are just getting more and more technical as this progresses.
Yep, and so Deer Team 2 over to the left, they do not have the same as before, but you can see the 2 players that were on the last from Fractal, being which is Cheesewiz, I think, on the top, and then Westel over in the bottom right. But has picked up 3 players from the initial 1-seeded team of Fractal, that being Coldless, OSW, and Chart. So a very, very terrifying team to still have. I believe most of them are within top 50. I think Chart, Westel, and OSW within top 20. And on Rounded Trolling, we've still got much of the same on the other end.
Yeah, we got Lulwer, Akma, Tiki, Quarpy, and Kautin, who
which is, I believe that's
top 200
Tazago.
Japanese. Is that really? Wow.
I believe that's Tazago. If I'm not mistaken. I can double check real quick.
Oh, if that's Tazago, wow. Tazago's gotten really good recently. Wow.
Yeah, Tazago went on the grind set. Basically got into the top 200 for a short period of time.
Wow.
Was really practicing the openers, if I'm not mistaken, because they're
top 10 on the
a big fan of.
Yep. Number 2 detail oriented. Wow, that is impressive. And I mean, when these are your weakest players on the team, someone who has number 2 in detail oriented and Cheese Whiz, that's hard to deal with.
Cheese has been X Plus before, but I think just has fallen out of the league. There's been so many players trying to grind for a couple of the events, and obviously, the Tech World Championships happening. A lot of people playing.
doesn't seem like Tazago has been X plus yet, but
Oh.
I definitely believe in her to make it happen for sure.
Hold on.
Because we have like.
Hold on. Someone put prize pool in chat. I need to check this link. Has this been updated in the thing? I need to double check if this is. Let's take a look here. Yep. Oh my goodness, we have a $1,000 donation to the prize.
No.
From here, which I know isn't anonymous, but it basically is.
No way, that is ridiculous. Thank you. Is this anonymous? Because if that is the case, yeah, just here. Yeah, thank you so much for your donation. Thank you so much for your contribution. Oh my god.
Yep. I can see in the thing they've also contributed to Fractal in the past as well, so definitely a big supporter of the event. But whoever it is, thank you so much for the contribution, and definitely now to everyone who's in top 8. No pressure or anything, but there's a lot more money on the line. If that needed to calm your nerves a little bit, just know that the stakes have rent up tremendously.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, there's a lot on the line now. A win here would put either of these teams in top 3, which I think guarantees prize payout. Although I think with 1,000 the prize pool, I wouldn't be surprised if top 4 also got payout. But it's a pretty good slice to everyone that's going to be making it this far.
Oh yeah, no, shouts to Big Man Tatoes. We'll let him handle that part. Here.
Yeah, there's no $1,000 donation emote in Tetrio. Perhaps we'll see that for Tetrio World Championships. We can only dream.
Oh, man, wouldn't that be something? Yeah, just have the chat spam that.
Yeah, well, I guess if anyone wants an emote of themselves, I don't know if $1,000 donation will get it to you, but I'd definitely try.
Yeah.
And so yeah, both Cheese and Tazago. Have fun with your next match coming up, because this is gonna set the tone for Dear Team 2 and rounded trolling.
Nah, good luck, no pressure or anything.
Yeah, no pressure whatsoever.
Now, we were talking about earlier about whether these players have hit X Plus before or not. Cheesewiz has hit X Plus before, but it's just so hard to stay in there when, like, in order to be X Plus, you have to be in the top 80 now. And in order to be
80?
Yeah, in order to be X, you have to be in the top, like, 400.
Mm-hmm.
Like, top 500 is just not enough anymore.
Yeah, I feel like 500, top 100, like, makes sense, but I think, yeah, just because of the general player base, it's skewed a little bit.
Yeah, that makes more sense, but now it's, like, skewed over towards, like, the 480 range, so that's just where we're at now.
Yep, it is, it's a brutal world out here. Alright, so I think, judging by the in-game chat, which I know, again, is not on screen, but for some reason has a track record of being a very important part of Tetrio Teams Cup events. Both players kind of, we're all taking a moment here, both as the players and production as well. Except, massive community support there with $1,000. Like, that is, man.
Yeah, no matter who you are, that's always extremely appreciated. Pretty as I'll ever be. Now that the stakes have backed up so intensely.
I don't think Cheese or Tazago are ready, but they're just gonna go in. So.
All right. Now we're just gonna get right into this.
Right.
Yeah, these players. Yeah.
Opts for MKO to start. Very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, both these players pretty evenly matched together, but Tazago already getting so cheesed up. Yeah, that's just fatal at that point. Just way too cheesed up. The eye dependency, like you were saying, Devo, it's just too much to handle, and so that's going to be Dear Team 2 coming up when Cheesewiz getting some blood in their hands. And it's going to be up to Round of Trolling to send out their next player here.
Alright, and well, it looks like Tiki hasn't decided yet who they're going to send out. I think Tiki might be the captain of the team right now. I have to, actually, I should probably double check, but it looks like they're going to be... Oh, what? Oh, they're rejoining. Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah, this is very helpful.
Third player decided to come off of spectating, but I don't think they're interested in this particular matchup. So I guess they're probably just going to be chatting it out real quick in the VC of who feels more confident. And at the moment, oh no, maybe
I saw Corby up there for a second, but maybe it'll be Akma.
I'm not. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea either.
The thing with Corpy as well is like Corpy right now I think is around top 50, but they're very much like a kind of efficiency, like, you know, I don't want to call them a one-trick pony because they are like, you know, fast in their own right, but they're able to sustain like X plus play a lot of the time, barely surpassing 3 pieces per second, which is really unheard of.
Yeah, like Corpy oftentimes slower than I am, but the efficiency is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, I wonder if Corpy's ever. It's probably like the cliche, cringe thing to say, but like, I wonder if Corpy's ever played King of Stackers. Like, I think they would be like top 1 in that game. Like, actually, like, just completely ridiculous.
Just about.
Yeah, just and absolutely such an entertaining player to watch. But, I mean, we might get Lulliver in here instead to start out with, which I would probably agree with that direction.
Looks like that might be the case. Yeah, so currently the victor of the responsible one, 32 revive to show off on the profile. That's
yeah.
Very honestly, of all of the different sorts of, you know, achievements and badges people have been going for with the, you know, beta update of Tetrio, responsible one for revives has definitely been a very common one. So having number 1 in that category is definitely a huge bit there as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, I definitely have seen Lulliver super active with the responsible one for sure. Oh, wait, no. Why did Cheese Whiz put that? Okay, it seems like we're just going ahead anyways. Cheese Whiz versus Lulliver here.
Yep, TKI for both. Leller going a little bit more the all-spin route, carry through.
Yeah, finding the I-spin, able to back out of that in time to break out the surge. Only 5, getting the I-spin here.
I feel like Leller is taking this a little bit slower, but like almost has this down to a science. Like all of these all-spins have felt very calculated.
Yeah, and the timing was super well calculated too. Just building up to like 5 or 6 or something, and then just cancel it all out at the perfect moment. I'm just gonna close the chapter on Cheese Whiz there, even though it's out to a 4-4.
Yep, and while that match happens, we got another $50 donation from, I think, Edam Amex, saying, "Let's go Japan and Gohan." So I have a feeling they're probably rooting for Stare to emerge victorious of Fractal. For their sake, I hope that goes well, but given the previous track record we've seen, looks very promising, but anything can happen in the format. So. Oh,
yeah, no, definitely anything can happen in this format. I'm starting to agree more and more as this is progressing onwards. But yeah, I mean, Team Stare does have a good chance to win the whole thing from what we've seen. So, you know, you may end up picking the right horse to bet on. We'll have to see. But, I mean, both of these teams are going to have a chance to face them in the winners finals and bring the heat for sure. And it seems like they're sending in Coldless, which, I mean, makes sense, actually. I mean, they haven't really said anything about it yet, but, like, Coldless is, like, highlighted in the player list right now.
It would be the typical, like, I think Coldless is next in line if they go low TR and a high TR, which,
yeah,
you know, no discredit to Coldless. Coldless is also, you know, X+, which is a coveted place to be at this point in time. But we're getting to this point in the event, especially for players that are still in winners bracket. Almost everyone that's playing at this point is, I think, at least X rank. Most of them high X rank, if not already in X+. Just among the 20 players, or I guess now 15 technically. We've already had one of our winners semifinals matches happen.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Coldless is like Coldless currently like barely in the X+ range, probably just due to like not playing enough. If I had to guess, because like I remember Coldless, yeah, ended season 1 at rank 33. So I don't know if Coldless is just like not caught up to like where the other players are currently at in terms of season 2 exclusive mechanics, or just hasn't been playing that much TL or the game in general, but still at that like top 30 range. Let's see, very solid LS2 stacking right now. The forecast into the T-spin from Coldless, but Lulliver back-to-back rounds Ken. And the 27 spike. Wait, what though? The mishold. What? Lulliver, what happened?
I guess I was trying to probably greet a little bit before that last spike came in. Lulliver was also doing a really good job, hit so many all-spin singles, which is very hard to do, but is extremely valuable in the early game to build up that surge quickly while keeping your resources intact. But I guess Cold is just going the full offense in that matchup, enough to take them down.
Yeah,
And
it's crazy because like Lelor had such a huge back-to-back built up. Coldless sent out that 27 spike at just such the perfect moment. And I thought Lelor didn't even have a way out, but Lelor found the perfect way out, had the eyepiece, and like was receiving so much garbage where it was like you had to use the eyepiece there to just clear out the Tetris on that garbage well and just cancel out some of that. But the mishold, pulling out the Z piece instead, just completely sealed his fate there. So it's gonna be Coldless versus someone else on the round trolling team between Akma, Tiki, and Corpy, and we may see Corpy come out next.
Honestly, now that I think about it, with I think everyone on rounded trolling, I think with the exception of Tazago, most of them are kind of known for like playing a lot slower but much more efficient, and especially within Season 2, really taking advantage of a lot of the all-spin play. So I mean, feel like...
yeah. Like, Corpy and Lelor are definitely more... Oh, and Tiki especially. I saw your performance at Full Tilt. That was extremely impressive gameplay. Very inspiring. Thank you. But, I mean, Akma at, like, 3.8 average PPS in TL with a 16.3 sprint. Top 10 blitz. Wow. Akma might be the anchor, actually. We'll have to see if they send Akma or Tiki as the anchor. But regardless, I think sending in Corpy versus Coldless here is the right decision. As I believe we're... Are we at 4-3? Yeah, we're at 4-3 right now. Okay.
Yeah, 4 players alive for Deer Team 2, 3 for rounded trolling. So this is kind of if Corpy wins this, it'll bring it back to even, although the advantage obviously is within Deer Team 2 at this point in time.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. But Corpy does have the efficiency and the X factor to, like, definitely turn the tides on that, but we'll have to see. The strategy generally against Corpy seems to be just, like, speed gap him, but that seems to be much easier said than done. And I saw someone in chat say a Pokemon-style battle, describe this as a Pokemon-style battle. That's, like, the best marketing you could possibly given us. Thank you so much, Steve.
This is, well, is this a Pokemon battle, except every move is a one-hit KO and you kind of roll the dice?
It's just Fisher only.
Oh, my goodness. Nightmares of Tinglu.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, Assault Vest and everything else. Oh boy.
Yeah, no, like we were thinking, it is going to be up to Corpy to see if he can even out the set, or if Coldless is going to do some serious damage with the C-Spin opener. Are you going to be able to get the J in there? Yes, he is. Going to cancel out.
Oh.
Back-to-back 6 for Corpy. Yeah, huge advantage for Corpy right now. Back-to-back times 10 already. Getting the J-Spin, able to continue this into a 12, 13, 14, 15.
And this is Corpy's bread and butter, is just like keeping that surge as long as humanly possible. And even though there's that OP's misdrop, Coldless has so much garbage still left in queue that there's really no more options left in the tank. Corpy, once again, under 3 pieces per second, but that's all it takes as long as you're able to build up that surge just masterfully.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That was just such a high surge and just sending it off at the perfect time. Just knowing that, like, okay, it's more important for me to, like, build a high surge and be able to have something afterwards to send along with it to make it even more difficult for my opponent to get out of the cheese I'm sending them, as opposed to just trying to build the highest surge possible all the time. Because, like, you know, if you have a high surge going already, and you see your opponent has a little cheese, and you see that you have something to extend the combo with after you break the surge, it's like, you know, why not just send it out now? You don't need to build up to 20, 30, or whatever, because your opponent's probably not going to give you the chance to.
Yeah, another thing, I feel bad that I haven't taken a look at one in particular, but I'm pretty sure although Corpy's not using infinite soft drop, it looks a little bit slower than 40. But again, Corpy has also been like a big kind of user of the non-infinite soft drop, even since Season 1, and still had great success with it.
Oh yeah, no. I remember the one time I played against Corpy, it's never, Corpy's never used infinite soft drop.
Okay, so, alright, Corpy listening in the stream telling me it's 25 SDF. So yeah, not even the maximum of, you know, what can be allowed in the game. It's just, you know, the muscle memory and everything else, too much of an obstacle for their opponents to overcome. But it appears Westel is sending themselves as the which I believe right now is number 4 ranked. Oh, no, okay, so they're technically not ranked at the moment, but definitely has the capabilities of the high-octane gameplay that...
Yeah, and it makes sense, even though Westel is possibly their best player, like, the reason why they're sending him out now, because, like, if there's one person who can actually, like, apply the game plan of speed gap Corpy properly, it's Westel. And, I mean, you're seeing it right now, back-to-back times 20 right now, 21, it just keeps going. And Corpy forced a free surge right now, but Westel with the 26, 27, it just keeps going. 48 spike, 49 from Westel, my bad.
Corpy still needs a little bit more in the tank, though. Is the downstack here in time? I don't know.
It's not. No, unfortunately. Just the wrong order on those pieces.
I think almost had a survival route, but because they took a little bit of time to figure things out, Westel just kept sending on more and more lines of garbage. I mean, you can see already 158 lines sent, but only 100 of them was necessary to earn the top out on Corpy.
Yeah. No, I think that was like pure evidence right there of like you could see exactly why they sent out Westel at this exact moment right now. And also Westel, one of those players that does play like probably like the fastest versus player that this game has right now, to be entirely honest. Even still. Yeah, like hasn't played too many Tetra League games, still like unrated, but 4.66 PPS. It has the 40 lines record on this game.
Oh, well, keep in mind as well, like another thing too is Westel is not exempt from the Season 2 adaptation. A lot of players like I don't want to bring up OSW as an example because OSW is also on this team, but OSW has a habit of playing Season 2 kind of like it's Season 1 and doesn't really incorporate a lot of all spins just because of how advanced their knowledge is and like making sure they can keep those T-spins every single bag. But it is more efficient over time to incorporate more all spins into gameplay. And even though Westel is still keeping that speed at the exact same rate it was in Season 1, they've been playing a lot more efficient. And for those that have been tuning into a lot of, Tetra World Cup events that Westel's been able to play in, you can definitely see that impact as a lot of matchups that used to be difficult or were uphill battles, they've just been, seamlessly blowing through. And really, I think has only gotten stopped by Diao and maybe CZ, but we haven't seen that one in tournament.
It's funny you bring up CZ because, like, I don't know if you've seen him play lately, but he's like the shining example of, like, a player that is trying to force Season 2 to play like it's Season 1. Which, fair, since he's not playing in tournaments anymore, he's got, like, a job and all that. Ugh.
Well, I mean, that's kind of, what happens.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Right,
the reason why I'm dressed the way I am right now, but yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree with you with what you were saying about Westel. I was seeing those all spins in that previous match against Corpy, and yeah, sending in Tiki here, having similar all spin knowledge to Corpy, but going even faster right now. Or at least the expectation to come out of this. So we'll. Because, like, Westel, even though it plays super fast, not, like, as important to have that ridiculous level of speed against Tiki as it was against Corpy, and also more prone to misdrops, although Westel very, very good at fixing the misdrops in the verses, but it does happen sometimes, just due to how fast he likes to play.
Yeah, and so Tiki, I know, is a very big fan of just building up Surge and kind of waiting for that right moment to strike, but obviously, when having to deal with Westel on the other side of the Matrix, it's going to get very difficult very quickly.
Yeah, that moment's never going to come. Like, this is such a difficult situation for Tiki to break out. He's doing it. Oh my goodness, Tiki is still living just a little bit longer. Back-to-back times 4 right now. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my god. That was such a fatal misdrop.
And as well, like, to be fair, like, Tiki as well had misdrops in that, but there was a critical spot. They were about, like, 3 lines away from topping out. And Westel had some catastrophic misdrops that cut off all access to their clean garbage. And even, I think, had to sacrifice a T-spin triple setup that definitely would have been the finishing blow. But Tiki able to capitalize off of that opportunity. And, things are not looking as dire as they initially seemed. Where, like, yes, Westel speed was enough to take out Corpy. But one misdrop, as you mentioned before in our last set, could be the difference between an L and a W, and that is quite the W for Tiki to take.
Oh yeah, no, that is huge to shift the momentum back into the favor of this rounded trolling team here. Even if back out to 2-2, keep them in this. It's just a beautiful survival and then an extension off of Tiki. So we're gonna have to see if he's able to continue this momentum here, or if Shark is gonna step in and just put a stop to this. We'll have to see. And I think Shark has like doesn't have as low the lows, but doesn't have. I mean, there's very few players, if any, that have as high the highs as Westel. Like, yeah, we saw how quickly that match versus Corpy ended for a reason. Like it. Yeah, we've been over that part, you know.
Yeah, so, okay, it appears Tiki is asking to calm down a little bit. They said they're shaking after that last round. Which
I don't blame them.
Yeah, that's understandable. And obviously, like, you know, Westel is now off the table, but Shark is still an extremely prominent player. Had to upset Tab to win the very first Apple Orchard Cup in spectacular fashion.
Oh, yeah,
and even after, you know, if Tiki's able to win that, OSW still right around the corner. Another phenomenal, fast, hyper-aggressive player that, you know, very much akin to Westel. And that is, you know... There's still
to deal with. Job's not finished yet by any stretch.
This is a very difficult scenario still for Tiki as well as Shark. I mean, again, because if Shark is down, that leaves OSW as the last player standing on that team. If Shark's able to win it here, it puts it into a 2v1, but again, still not out of the woods because Akma is awaiting things to be finalized.
And FD starting off with the back-to-back top 7 right now. 8. It's just going to keep going. Tiki is the one at the back-to-back disadvantage. This doesn't happen very often. Oh, but Shark forced to break early here. But Tiki getting a little bit cheesed up here, and yeah, FD just has so much to work with right now, and it's just too much. Build up to 200 APM, just maintain that clean stack is... Tiki gets cheesed up just a little bit, and it's just not enough to deal with.
Yeah, and so, advantage now still on Deer Team 2's side, with Shark currently standing, OSW kind of at the ready, and Akma now the last player standing for rounded trolling. Again, the spectacular upset there from Tiki, but I mean, even in Fractal's iteration, in the bracket reset, Westel did lose, but the team still emerged victorious. So, although Westel may seem like a very easy win condition to just throw in, much like Gohan was a little bit earlier set that we saw this evening, it's not a guarantee.
Yeah. And now Akuma getting sent out as the anchor. And you know, both of these players, top 10 players, which I did not realize Akuma had already elevated to like the top 10 caliber player. But I mean, I'm seeing it right now. Super clean stacking.
Well,
right
that's
there.
some lovely garbage.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful stack for Akuma right now, and FD's going to have to work through this really quickly to have any chance of survival here, and that's exactly what they're going to do right now, building up times... Oh, 25 spike, though, and yeah, that's going to force Akuma to just break it right now, times 11, and oh, flying down with the mid-game PC!
Oh, had the 2-line as well, but garbage, so not going to get any bit of the extra credit for that spin.
Yeah, I respect not going for it, though. And, oh, beautiful find on Fly Diarrhea. Oh, and FD finds another copy. 15 search, 34 spike. But Akuma, excuse me, still living through this.
Yeah, surviving the 34 spike plus the follow-up. Absolutely incredible survivability and durability within such a volatile format. Shark going for another smaller spike, but not going to be doing a lot to Aqua in this case, although we do have an eyepiece dependency.
Yeah, but Akuma is just so cheesed up right now. This is going to be so hard. Yeah, they reached a point there where it was just too much, and even through 300 pieces, FD still playing above 1 APP, which is so, like, impressive that, like, in Season 2, we're starting to see that more and more and more, where these top players are able to play at, like, such a ridiculous rate of efficiency. Thanks to those husbands.
Deer Team 2, with 2 players standing, has advanced into our winners finals. They'll be playing against Team Stare that we saw earlier for winners finals. So both of those teams already guaranteed to play in top 3, or excuse me, place in top 3. Rounded Trolling and Square Pusher guaranteed top 6, but we've got our Other 4 teams that have made it into our top 8 from the loser side, awaiting some more matches. And so we've got, I think, Misdrop Mayhem and Friendship Petrio, as well as We Love First, Office of Toaster Affairs, I believe, on the lower end of our bracket. I don't really know that department very well, but it seems that they're doing good for themselves, I guess.
Yeah, these are some really fun team names. I like these people coming down and giving us a good time here.
Yeah, Office of Toaster Affairs had to overcome VeggieTales on their path to victory.
VeggieTales. I wonder if there's someone on my Tetris friends list named Veggies for Life. I wonder if they were on the VeggieTales team or not.
Yes, they were the captain of that team.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Shouts Veggies for Life.
So.
And also make sure to stay hydrated, especially when you're getting knee deep into some hardcore gaming like this, you know, or just absolutely fighting for not just real life, but for your teammates as well.
Yep, and so we've got Misdrop Mayhem and Friendship is Tetrio. You can see our rosters on screen. I think Friendship is Tetrio is still a little bit of kind of like the last My Little Pony effect. We had a lot of that on the leaderboard from, I can't remember how many months ago that initially started. But a lot of the last couple of players.
It was like right at the start of season 2. It felt like was like when that started.
Was it? I feel like it
felt like it to me. I don't know.
I thought that was like a this year thing. It was kind of like right around.
Possibly.
Hold on.
Oh, it was probably like it was probably at the very start of TWC actually. Yeah.
Yeah, which I would have been like I think this year, but like early this year, somewhere probably around like February or March.
Yeah, very early this year for sure.
And so, yeah, I think for a couple of them, I might be able to try and like manually go and double check other aliases that these players have gone by, just to give a heads up. Which, by the way, literally just from all of the My Little Pony characters, like there was now the update that they pushed on Tetrio. So if you look at a player's profile and they've recently changed their name, you can actually see recent aliases they've gone by.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing that they did that, but at the same time, it
came in handy.
Yeah, it definitely comes in handy for us TOs and commentators and tournament followers and all of that. But at the same time, I was gonna do a funny prank and change my profile to resemble Spargo, the current #1 Smash player, because he has an Osu account, but not a Tetrio account, and because like the player bases between those two games are so intertwined, I thought I could pass it off as legit and it would be like a crazy thing, but you know, it's not gonna work anymore, so you know, unfortunate, but at the same time, very fortunate for like everyone, really.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and
oh wow, 26 is just going in and out and in and out and in and out. I'm not sure if we're playing in this or not. Very indecisive right now.
Wait, are we? Hold on. Okay, yeah, I think there's a little bit of a confusion of like who exactly is playing for our first matchup happening. I feel like a lot of players have done the, you know, low TR to high TR. We did have the exception of Westel being used as the counter to Corpy, which, again, worked out for that matchup, and overall the team did emerge victorious. But I think as well it's going to be a little bit difficult going forward just because we're kind of running out of, like we're just at, like, the top echelon of players. So, like, having a counter pick is more of just, like, picking a better player more often than not. And there's, like, very few, like, counter picks kind of left in the overall player base. I mean, they're still there and they're present, don't get me wrong. But it is, it's getting very difficult, and I think a lot of people just are like, I want this player to take as many games as they can, and then we'll just keep kind of going down the line. I feel like that's the general gist of what we end up seeing.
Oh yeah, no, that definitely seems to be the general way that this goes through these bets.
Okay, I'm being told that apparently we gotta fix a couple things on bracket. I think mainly for stream visibility, but let me double check.
Mixed up somehow.
After which?
Oh, are we gonna get a different match?
Oh wait, did we have another match that got played? Did Mr. Mayhem Furniture Bessetio already get? No. They're all here, right? Or am I missing something?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. Seems
Because I was like, I don't think our losers 8th matches have already been played. I think we're still waiting on them, right?
Perhaps.
I'm gonna kind of double check here real quick. Let me take a look.
Oh,
I see. Okay.
They're
trying to...
It would be the better order to do things in, but I don't think it's necessary. If we already...
Well, it's essentially like, yeah, trying to keep the order, like, similar so that each team kind of has a breather between.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, final say goes to Tatum as well, because tournament, but... okay, we'll probably get a call on that soon if that's set we'll be doing, or if...
Topic delay so much it doesn't matter. That's very fair.
I wouldn't call it delay, necessarily. I mean, there's definitely like, a lot of matches to be had. That's in part because everything is first to one, and we have a lot of people left.
Yeah, it's gonna be like at least 10 sets in this top 8, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, you definitely got a whole night of entertainment squared away for you. So make sure you got your popcorn stacks and everything already set aside.
All right, so yeah, it looks like we've got, I think, Ponies and Librarius as our first matchup, potentially.
See. I was initially thinking it was going to be Librarius versus 26, but they may have changed this around. Would you rather change your name to Grug or lose $2? What is bro talking about?
Look, I mean...
I never know I can get. I'll be Grug.
I know chat doesn't get the privilege of looking at the in-game Tetrio chat that's happening between these matches and stuff. Like, it doesn't really get shown on stream. I'm just going to let you all know...
I gotta share the goals, though.
There is a lot that always goes on. Like, even in just, like, regular, like, one topic. Like, there'll just be, like, someone just, like, chilling in there, just having a blast. And I feel bad because sometimes it makes for great content, but it's like, I got a match going on.
Pony's starting out a little bit slow in the opener here, coming through with TKI. And while both players trying to convert into LST, but for Ponies, it's not quite looking that way. But Librarius, very solid stack right now. Gonna set up a J spin. Gonna cancel the back-to-back at only 6, though, which I felt like there was a way to continue that. But... Librarius still...
And we haven't seen too much in terms of, like, keeping the Surge at the moment. Like, again, like, even if it's difficult to keep Surge, like, one of the biggest things you can do to kind of assist your damage output is just making sure you get that Surge to 4 before letting it go, because then you'll get that damage. And if you have to break your back-to-back before you make it to that point, you get no benefit. So as long as you, like, even if it's just that small of a back-to-back keep, if you can at least get to that point, you're getting, at least a little bit more out of your Surge.
It's such a huge jump between 3 to 4, for sure. And I mean, yeah, we're seeing it right there from Librarius, just able to build off enough Surges that were big enough to close the chapter on that. Put the team up 5 to 4. I believe Librarius with... Actually, I don't know which... Oh, Ponies with the Friendship is Tetrio team. So Misdrop Mayhem, the lower seed team, seed 14, coming into this top 8, currently with a 5 to 4 lead. As okay, Ponies is U ranking. Okay, all right, that makes sense. Still a good showing from Ponies, though. Still able to maintain a clean stack against the player of the caliber of Librarius for quite a while, though.
Yeah, and I think given the roster of the other teams left, I think Ponies might be one of the few U-ranked players that have actually made it into our top 8. There's probably only like 1 or 2 left.
Yeah, I mean, very impressive showing from the team as a whole, and now Friendship Cetro setting out a Big Macintosh, another high X-rank player, as we're seeing from this T-Spin forecast. Look at that.
Well, just a little bit of down stack gaming, I guess, but it does cheese up Librarius quite a bit.
Oh yeah, Definitely, it's going to be hard to get out of this, especially with the stack that Big Mac Tosh is playing. Against the Force Surge, like you were saying earlier, Dave, but that's such an important milestone to get in your stacking.
Yeah, like it
the
ain't
ice
much,
spin!
but it'll... Oh, that's
When the
not a
team is
spin.
dropped, that's so bad. Yeah. That's it. Big Macintosh.
I think was gonna...
Before.
Yeah, I believe Librarius was trying to go for like you place the T and then kick either your S or Z piece under, which usually like in season 1 that would just be you pray that the T is second so you can get a spin out of it. But because of all spin, obviously a little bit more flexible. But I think just had a miss kick there, and unfortunately no lines getting cleared, and that's just cutting off all resources.
I see. Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. It's very nice when you get that like decisive moment that like actually seals it, since it's one of those games where it's like your opponent can have a strong advantage, but like you're always able to bring it back. But when you make it so decisive, that makes it.
Ooh. All right, yeah. 26 is looking for a way to keep that back-to-back surge. Does end up breaking it before we get to that critical, 4 back-to-back, and still is getting a little bit spiked up and having to use both IP before getting to some garbage. And honestly, it was all cheese up at the top. The only clean garbage that would have happened is if they got all the way back down, and fortunately for them, that was not happening anytime soon.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was just the wrong decision there for 26 to break that back-to-back early and go for that combo to try and cheese Big Mac up. It just was not going to happen. Big Mac was just building up too much, and then, like, the pieces just came with the wrong order. Like, if 26 had, like, the J piece and then the I piece for that down stack in that order instead of the other way around, then, like, maybe they would have had a chance, but it was still slim, especially considering, like, Big Mac still had plenty of room on the board to work with. And,
at this point, it's Friendship is Tetrio's favor. They have 4 players left. Disrupt Mayhem has to send in another. Looks like it's going to be Salenzo.
Yeah. Salenzo around like a 3 PPS kind of player here. And yeah, Big Mac already taking out 2 players in a row and has the potential to take out 3, which would be the most that we've seen so far in terms of like an MVP performance.
Oh, you are right. We haven't seen a player take down 3 players. But
Big Mac looking poised to do it right now with the 8 back-to-back. Has some kind of J&L dependencies, not able to properly fill out in time in the way that they would like to. But still not in too much danger just yet. Breaking that 9 back-to-back surge still gonna do them decent favor. They would have preferred probably to continue that back-to-back with the S piece instead of the Z piece, but it doesn't matter anyway. Still able to send enough damage. And yeah, Big Macintosh puts the respect on the name. Getting 3 players knocked out in a row, building up a huge lead for Friendship is Tetrio to try and close out the set early here.
Yeah, there's only 2 more players left, and I think Milan, as team captain, sent themselves in. I've been told his puppy is apparently only SS or S plus. So I think was definitely the only S plus player still left in top 8. But this is basically kind of like the last strong stand that this team can really put up against Big Mac.
Yeah, being able to reach this point in the bracket with the credentials shows like a huge overperformance and huge teamwork for sure. And Milan looking like they have a pretty clean stack, but Big Macintosh coming through with the back-to-back top 7. But oh wow, Milan actually not using a piece as a prop to continue it, just breaking the back-to-back at 4, get it going all the way back down to the bottom of the board. It would have been a PC if Milan had an eyepiece there, but yeah, Big Mac back with back-to-back times 2 already. I mean, both players are just having a really clean stack going on, but Big Mac with the times 4, breaking it off just in time. And Milan building up the fractal here. Oh, but not going to do it all at once, going to tank a little bit, which I don't know if is the smartest idea because, you're going to be taking that cheese there. But it's not too much. Like, Milan could definitely dig out of it. And the Big Mac has a huge garbage ball to work with. Is Milan going to be able to get out of this? Seems like the answer is yes, actually, just barely. But Big Mac already had enough time to set up a back-to-back time 6, and it's getting more and more out of control. Milan has some clean garbage to work with now, at least.
Yeah, a little bit more resources. Let's that smaller surge go, even though it's at +4. Oh, but that's over on the corner. Probably going to be a fatal misdrop.
Yeah, it's just not going to be enough in time.
And the near 1 attack per piece from Big Macintosh. That's 4 straight victories. Could potentially get an ace for this entire set, as his puppy is the last player standing.
Yeah, it is entirely possible for Big Macintosh to just, like, sweep the entire team, which, for a tournament that's this stacked in this cruise format, and for how deep in the bracket we are, top 8, it's like, this is not a thing that usually happens.
I don't think we've ever... I think even in Fractal, we didn't have that happen in top 8. It did happen, at least at one point in the bracket. I don't think within top 8 we were seeing any of those formats. I think most we saw was, like, couple of sets we would see like 2, maybe 3, but getting all 5 opponents, very, very rare in this format.
Yeah, I don't think it happened in Fractals.
It looks like Big Mac is going to donate the T-Spin triple. I'm not sure what opener they're planning on going for.
Big Mac's trolling a little bit, but it's all good. We're gonna... Oh, we got something going on here. Ooh, that was a really neat overhang to be able to get the T-spin off of that. I will be studying. And, okay, yeah, now that we're cheesed up a little bit, now we're going to speed up a little bit more for Big Mac.
Yeah, it does seem that Big Mac has definitely taken their time within the...
Yeah, but, I mean... It's all good, you know, like, we're getting some entertaining gameplay out of this regardless. Which, I mean, at this point in the set, you know, Friendship is Tetra up 4-1. Like, what can you really ask for? And Big Macintosh completing the whole sweep.
Yeah, and that is a sweep in losers 8. They, I believe, now advanced into losers semifinals, which, I mean, they'll be playing against Rounded Trolling, which is definitely going to be a bit of a difficult matchup. But, you know, I mean, a 5-0, well, not really 5-0, I mean, 4-0, but, you know, one player getting that sweep entirely is definitely something that is quite shocking this late in the bracket.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, you know, definitely have a difficult matchup awaiting them, but, you know, with a performance like that, it's not necessarily impossible by any means. You know, they're showing off that the Friendship is Tetrio, but, I mean, you may not necessarily need the Friendship part all the time.
And as well, shout out the raid from Manabender. Welcome into the stream. We are a little bit kind of getting our way into our top 6 of Nucleus, which is our kind of league tournament run by Tetrio Teams Cup. So for those recently coming in, 5-on-5, player has only 1 stock apiece. So if you top out once, that is your contribution. So needless to say, a lot of very dynamic games that can happen within this tournament format. But we're going to be getting our next match underway relatively shortly, which will be our second Losers 8s match. And
what teams are these going to be?
We're kind of running out of like top players to include in this, but again, we're just like also having more and more of them just get eliminated. So we're like the standards of what it takes to make it to top 8 or what it takes to make the top 6 or top 4 just like keeps growing exponentially, and it is terrifying.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous when you have a tournament that has like, we have Gohan, we have Fort, we have Cad, we have Turtle, we have Vince. What else we have? We have Akma, we have Shark, we have Westel, we have OSW. Its tournament is just so stacked. Like, there's like a million other people. There's like a million other people that I forgot to include in there, and like, if I forgot to include you, it doesn't mean you're not pro. And I just only wanted to list a certain number of names so I can let my man's Devo speak.
Yeah, like
too many.
Out of top 15, I think we've got about 10 or 12, I think. And that technically doesn't even count Westel, because Westel right now is not rated TR. So, like, we kind of just had, like, basically most of our, like, top 15, top 20, top 50 players were like, hey, let's just all join this Teams event. And so we're just at the point where most of the players are involved in that circle, and it really comes down to just whether or not they're able to capitalize on the matchups that they need to.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the Tetra League leaderboard. Yeah, Firestorm was in this tournament. The Applejacks in this tournament. He was on the French Biz Tetrio team that we saw previously, but Big Mac was just going on such an incredible tear that we didn't even get to see Karatsu play. We have Rumka JS, currently number 12. I did not know that Volashevsky was that high up on the leaderboards right now. That is ridiculous.
Right. So I believe we'll be getting our first matchup underway relatively shortly. We Love Bursting got players, especially like Fortisim, Cove Holden, and I think Yon99. Toaster Office as well, with players like Crepsy, and who has never let me go again? I know this player.
You may know them as Lifeline or ICHD.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, is that Lifeline? Because I forget who else has they have like a similar name that also has a different alias, and I always get the two of them like mixed up in my.
Yeah. Yeah, I also recognize Kepsi Pengi's reputation. And yeah, both of these teams, both top 8 seeds, so very exciting set right now. But we have Hamburger Pie versus Grape coming through right now. And Hamburger Pie, a little bit of a misdrop with the Z piece, but that should be fixable. But not if Grape has anything to say about it. Very clean stack right there. Times 8, just absolutely unrelenting. Hamburger Pie already sits at the top of the board. 20 spike. And somehow through that interaction, Grape's the one who ends up cheesed up from that. I don't know how, but that's just what we're working with right now. And the T-piece misdrop from Grape, this is looking more and more precarious as this unfolds, but it's not over just yet. Grape's still able to get this fixed up.
Yep, still counting to 4, getting those all spins at 4 back-to-back. Finds it all in one fellow's swoop, and that's gonna be enough for the top outs.
Yeah, building up the times 6 back-to-back with the Z-spin, and then recognizing just how high up on the board Hamburger Pie was, how cheesed up they were, and just being like, you know what, let's just send it now, whatever. I'm gonna have it, even if it doesn't kill, it'll do enough damage, and I'll have a T-spin afterwards anyways, and so it'll just work out.
Yep, and so for the Office of Toaster Affairs, they've successfully gotten the audit on one member of We Love Burst, waiting the fate of our rest.
That's hilarious. I love how Grape's About Me says keyboard broke frowny face. Apparently it's not broken enough. Still playing at a top 200 level, still going up against the C5's team and still like starting off with a lead here.
Well, Tetra does have a track record of players playing on like really obscure setups, whether that be like the keyboards themselves or where they're playing. There's no reason to have like official Tetris matches happening. We had I remember like Firestorm was like playing on like an empty cardboard box on like a really old keyboard setup. Fortis had a broken keyboard when playing before, and apparently Cup Holden wanted me to start talking about the game. That was a 10-second match.
Yeah, no, Cub Holden is playing out with a cardboard box with the Fire of the Gods. That was under 10 seconds.
Alright, so very quickly, we are back to 4 and 4.
Yeah, the Cub Holden, freshly X+. Well, actually, I shouldn't even say that. They're like top 50 now. My bad. Put some respect on my boy Gotcha Life. Yeah, putting that to rest real quickly. And like you said, Dave, we're evening out to 4-4. And yeah, I mean, we just play this for the love of the game right now. And I mean, even me, where like I like to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward with like everything that I do. But like, even me, like, I played in the first Bankai League for Puyo Tetris. I played on a keyboard with like where my spacebar was broken. I remember that. Good times.
Does not sound like well, you say it's good times. I don't know if in the moment it was good times.
Oh no, it was.
Oh, okay.
It's fun. You'll just have to take my word for it, because I had an excuse for losing, which, like, I mean, the excuse for the Toaster Affair, these officials filing these claims, like you're saying, it's just couple and just too damn strong, and just playing with too much power. Are now already.
I think of the remaining players, I'm pretty sure that Hayden Danny is the only one that's not X+. But again, like, Yon99 and Fort could definitely hold their own against a lot of the players on the Office of Toaster Affairs. But I mean, that's, you know, 2 extremely quick games. I think, what is it? That's, okay, that is stick spin. I had to go back and check if it was STPC spin. I couldn't tell the difference for a second.
Oh yeah, no, you're better than me when it comes to differentiating between the openers. Cup Holden was doing so well for a while, but actually, that's not even what I meant to say. The misdrops brought them up to the top of the board, and despite playing at it was Pangies that was playing at 2:50 APM. 2:50 APM, 4.2 PPS. Pangies just putting a stop to that immediately.
Yep, and you know, like last year, we had a team called "You Will Misdrop Your Opener" do fairly well, and honestly, if you misdrop your opener, it's a very bad spot to be in a 1st to 1.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's so much more consequential in this type of format. Or just the lower the FT is, anyways, like regardless of whether it's one player playing 5 matches or it's 5 players playing 1 match, like regardless, it's still a lot more consequential when you get those really catastrophic modern art misdrops.
And so we've got, looks like Gyan99 is be going in as well. So as we are 3-3, I guess they kind of have like pseudo advantage at this point, get to choose who to send in. But this is a chance for the Office of Toaster Affairs to take advantage in this set.
Yeah, they got the counter pick advantage, but like in a game where it's like, you know, like.
Well, and speaking of misdropping openers.
Yeah, Pangy is out here building secret grade right now, but it's all good. Able to build up kind of quickly. Not if you put the OPs there like that, while Gyan has a ×6, and it just, the mid-game PCI, I'm popping out of my chair right now, and just continuing with more back-to-back anyways. Back-to-back ×5 now.
Oh my goodness.
Pangy still have another mid-game PCI, I'm losing my mind.
And Pangees is managing to get these airtight last-second optimizations on their downstack to stay alive. Has basically half the damage of Gyan99, but still alive.
Yeah, Gyan with the STSD. I don't even know how Pangies is still alive. Genuinely, how do you live that?
And now they're in a... Well, okay, we don't need any more misdrops. All right, and Pangees able to recover.
Triple. All right. Back-to-back comes 10 now, but just saw the upcoming queue, looked far enough ahead, knew that you needed to just break it right there. And Gyan coming forward with another 17, but Pangy's downstacking 9 combo. It's just too good. Yeah, Pangy's going absolutely crazy right now. I mean, both these players have
looking for a clean way to make it through. Gyan only going to have up to that 4 back-to-back, but that's all that they need. And he's not ready for that spike. Gonna top out before Surge is even popped on the defense.
What did Pangies even do wrong there? Like, Gyan just had the perfectly timed sweaty spike and just accepted too much?
Yeah, like, because, the thing as well is, Pangy had Surge, which could have, again, bumped a little bit of that damage off, but they, I think, wanted to tank a little bit more, because they had, like, a really good access to their garbage with the next couple of pieces in queue, but just, like, barely not able to really make it work. And obviously, with all that garbage coming in, I don't know if a skim over the well would have been the best. They probably would have needed L or J, and I don't remember if that's what they had access to at that time. Because again, with how quickly the surges can go off, sometimes you have like basically 2 to 3 pieces to figure out how you're going to defend against a whole board's worth of garbage.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have to see how Never Let Me Go, aka Lifeline, aka ICHG, aka probably something else that I'm forgetting at this point. Black PFP coming up against Gyan, who was just so impressive with just the back-to-back and the all. I don't know how much of the all clears was luck, but I mean there were 2 of them in a row, so I don't think it was.
Oh, but both of them are trying to play this extremely slow. They don't want to give the other the opportunity to build Surge with free garbage.
Yeah, and Gyan looking for the T piece there to continue the back-to-back, but just did not find it quickly enough, so forced to break off the back-to-back. Gyan, you cannot be doing this to me right now. And
I mean, it worked. The damage buff from the all-clear was enough to force Lifeline to top out. It was actually enough of a damage buff that it did matter.
Yeah,
the one time PC was worth the opportunity.
Yeah, it was just way too much for ICHG to be able to handle there, but still very clean stacking throughout the beginning portion of that, but Gyan just finding another all clear, and now it's 2 in a row. So I think the Office of Toaster Affairs getting taken down to their last official, if I am keeping up with this correctly.
So Kepsi is, I think, the last player standing is on the lower end of X+, but it's, again, kind of the last line of defense that they have.
Yeah, I kept saying more on the efficiency side, if you know, on like one end of the axis, but still very well-rounded, solid overall player. You kind of have to be. You have to have a certain degree of both speed and efficiency to get a shot at X+ in the first place.
And look at Gyan just going for as many creative points as they possibly can with their builds.
Oh, another fractal ×5 combo. 5 surge into the 5 combo. Kepsi getting really cheesed up right now. Kepsi really good at digging through the cheese, as we're seeing right now already. Just digs right through it. But is it going to be enough? What is Gyan trying to set up here? Is this even going to work? The S-spin! How did you forecast that?
Oh, and
did you see
manages to grab a T-spin triple on the way down.
Yeah, but Kepsi with the back-to-back ×8 now, forced to break it early, but still being able to reach that point in the first place. Starting to cheese Gyan up just a little bit. And now Kepsi's fully worked through the cheese, and is starting to bring this all the way back.
Oh, and Gyan intentionally timing a little bit there, making sure that their garbage went towards mitigating their existing queue rather than trying to play a little bit more aggressive. He's probably looking to have a bit more surge on their side or a bit more garbage to utilize.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, Gyan's sending out a bit of a burst.
The timing on that.
Yeah, Kepsi's starting to get a little bit cheesed up, but Gyan not able to take full advantage of it just yet. And Kepsi just breaks out of these situations so quickly. That's the reason why, like, this Toaster Affairs team might not be down and out just yet. Kepsi getting the back-to-back Surge 4 off already. And a minute and a half has passed. Both these players already still having super clean boards to work with. Even this far into it, and Gyan, just such a clean stack right now. ×5, 22 spike, but Kepsi is like still not phased too terribly much right now. Getting the S-spin.
Oh, Gyan's going for Swag Tower, manages to find it in time.
Oh my, is that actually called Swag Tower? I see why it's called that. 25 spike. Gyan absolutely closing the chapter on that. No more officials for the Toaster Affairs. It's no longer. These bursters are going to move on into the losers' quarters here, playing against, I believe, Square Pusher. Yes, that is correct.
The officer board from Toaster Affairs has all gone down, and We Love Bursting continues to move on. And again, like, having suffered a bit of a early upset is making quite a strong losers bracket run, and is now in top 6, looking to make it even further. We'll make that next matchup with 5 seed versus 4 seed. That definitely going to be pretty exciting.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a super exciting set, because we're going to have, Cavs team that also has, like, Malashevsky, Raviclia, the SS rank that's, like, plays, like, faster than my sprint PB.
Well, to be fair, to not discredit, I think it's Nathan Ram, like, they are a very strong player. Like, it does say SS.
Oh, I can tell.
Okay, well, if you're not aware, there is an SS player that has a sub-20 sprint in. Like, genuinely.
Ew. Who is that?
Just to catch you up with speed. That, like, there are speed mains in SS that are.
Yeah, I know.
Like, most of them outspeed X-rank player.
Yeah, I know Had 0J is a sprint main that's like in like the high SS, low U range. But I don't think they have a sub 20. I don't know who you're.
I'd have to go back to the Discord conversations about it. But
no, it is him. It is Had 0J. Yeah, he has a sub 20. I remember seeing him in SS a while back. He's in U right now, but yeah. Shout out to him.
At the time, reached SS. A little extra efficiency has brought that to you, so great stuff. But that was a wild time.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. I have like a 24.2. So like, yeah, that's ridiculous. But speaking of ridiculous, I don't know exactly who we're getting right now. Oh, I think we're getting
Yeah, so I believe we're doing rounded trolling and friendship etc. So we're going back up to the other side of our.
Oh yeah, that's what it is on the stream. Yeah.
Top 6. So winning this will guarantee a placement in the top 4. So this is a very valuable spot to be in, because I presume top 4 is going to be like the primary. I mean, it might be top 3 cutups. I think Fractal was as well. But might as well help your doesn't get into top 4.
Yeah.
So just at the bare minimum, I guess.
So, oh yeah, Tizago and Tiki are on the same team. So yeah, Tizago, Akuma Weller, Tiki, Quarpy, and then Friendship is Tetria, which we saw not too long ago. That last set went by so quickly. Gian just absolutely dismantling the whole rest of the Toaster officials on that team. A lot quicker than I expected.
I have a feeling that they're probably not going to be as lucky against Rounded Trolling, but there are still enough top talent left on Friendship is Tetria that I definitely think this will still be quite close.
Yeah, no, you have Gian, you have Milky Way, which I actually don't remember. Okay, no, the Milky Way is almost X+, still a very good player in their own right, but yeah, we have Applejack and we got Big Mac. I remember, absolute legend.
Right, and so I believe
like it's possible, but this is going to be a tall order since like almost all these players are X+ on the Rounded Trolling team.
Well, at the moment, Ponies is going to be getting sent in first, and I believe Tizago is going to be getting sent in first for that team. So that'll probably be our first matchup, and I think the challenge for Ponies is just going to be primarily surviving the opening blitz, because although like Tizago is a very strong player in her own right, I think her greatest strength is just getting TD out as fast as possible, and if Ponies is able to get pretty fortunate garbage around that, I think that might be in their... Oh, we're seeing extended from Tizago this time around.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. I mean, she can definitely get away with it here. And that's the challenge. I don't think I could survive that, honestly.
That is the strength of extended spin, if you're able to pull it off. It does require a bit of up-stacking, but it has quite a bit of opportunity behind it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That is definitely a lot to handle right there. And like when you have that like speed efficiency gap, whatever, like that's kind of when you want to go for those extended openers. And oh yeah, I just realized both of these teams are sending the same anchor, like the same points people that they did in their previous sets, and yeah, immediately leading Ponies into Big Mac. So we'll have to see if they can hold the same level of dominance that they did in the previous set, or...
Tizago's going for extended once again.
Going for extended again is kind of crazy, but it seems to be working out right now. Back-to-back top 7. Right now, another eyepiece dependency, but no problem at all for Tizago right now.
Alright, Surge does go. And has to spend the eye to skim and not able to use it on the garbage.
Yeah, Big Mac just didn't have a down stack ready.
Tizago has taken 2 immediately, very quickly off rip. And it's now 5-3 as Friendship is Tetria are going to have to rely on some of their 2 remaining players.
Yeah, I mean, especially compared to like the previous set in the winner side, which like, you know, you can't really ask for too much against a team that's as stacked as that Seed 2 team that they were up against in winners. But like, yeah, Tizago's really doing amazing right now, showing why her and her team are still in this bracket right now. Going for extended again? Yeah, we're going for extended again.
Well, keep in mind, Milky Way didn't go for the extended option. And
that is
a lot of clean garbage, but able to have the down stack. It's not going to be a finishing blow. Oh, and that is extremely greedy from Tizago, and unfortunately going to be her last greedy decision for this particular set. Milky Way able to capitalize off of that board state.
Yeah, that was off to such a strong start, getting the full opener off and getting a 29 spike out of it at a pretty opportune time, but it was just too much misdrop, too much greed. It's just, you know, it happens sometimes. It's unfortunate. Still a very good showing from Tizago in the set, being able to take out the first 2 players here and put Rounded Trolling on the upper leg here. Moving forward into this set, going up against Milky Way, seeing who they're gonna counterpick for this next match, which, you know, it makes sense that they often try to do like weakest to strongest players, because like it's not as much of a counterpick meta as say like a fighting game crew battle, just because like all the players have access to all the same tools. in each round, and so you won't see as much variation in playstyle compared to something like that. And also like the head-to-head history, like especially when the playstyles aren't as like visually distinct all the time necessarily, it's kind of hard to like develop a knowledge of the head-to-head history to figure out like, oh, the metagame, like who goes what where. It's very like power scaled, a game like this, in terms of like who is just better.
Because like we can try to kind of adapt of like, oh, certain players are better at certain, where like it's maybe similar to how like certain matchups are more or less favorable in fighting. But realistically, it's like everyone is playing the mirror match. But just some players are better or worse at the match.
At certain aspects, like some players have better defense. So some people are able to do better combos. It's a similar thing that applies here. But getting the J-Spin, Lellerer already off with the back-to-back times 8 right now. Starting off real strong here, Lellerer. I-Spin, Lellerer is such a good vision for these. Okay, the S-Spin's 14 back-to-back. Milky Way is really on the back foot here. And Lellerer just breaking it at 15, kind of some self-made cheese there. And Milky Way isn't too terribly phased by it, actually. I was expecting the impact to be a lot more. And, now Milky Way.
That's too much to tank, and Milky Way able to get... I mean, again, Tazago immediately knocked down too. Milky Way answering right back.
Yeah, no, Lellerer was doing so good for the beginning of that, but I guess just broke the surge too early, trying to go for the kill too early when the cheese just wasn't all the way quite there. And then made some self-made cheese on their side of the board, and that gave Milky Way the opening to just needle their way back into it. And, yeah, right now I think this is 3-3. Let me see.
Yep.
So, yeah, 3-3. Okay.
Advantage with rounded trolling is they get to pick who gets sent in next. As it so happened, when this occurred in winner's bracket, I think Corpy was the one that got sent in next, and it looks like that's going to be the case for this particular round as well.
Yeah, it sure does seem that way. And yeah, we're gonna send in Corpy right now. And Milky Way not like definitely like slow enough on average for Corpy to be able to contend with them. But
that's from Corpy early on. Not gonna be the...
but able to just immediately fix that, getting the S-Spin into a J-Spin and all sorts of chicanery. And yeah, Corpy receiving a lot of damage there, but no, the drop. But it's not going to be too big of an issue, I don't think. It's still quite a lot to deal with, but it's not impossible. But the misdrop on the seed, this is starting to become just too much to contend with. I think Milky Way is just going to run away with this at this point now. And yeah, you just can't do anything at that point.
Yeah, if he would have been one Nino earlier, there might have been a potential down stack, but there was just enough pressure, and unfortunately too many misdrops there on Corpy's end. That is 3 straight takedowns from Milky Way, putting advantage now into Friendship as Tetria's position. But given the players that are still left on rounded trolling, that's definitely not out of the woods.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely not. We still have Tiki and Akuma, I believe, which is going to be even more difficult for Milky Way to deal with. But already being able to do such...
And so Akuma's getting sent in first. So this is now a different order than we have previous.
Yeah, because I think Tiki's more so of like the all-spin breed, similar to like how Corpy and Lellerer are, whereas like Akuma's more so like the TKI, LST kind of like fundamental stacking kind of player for what we're seeing. Although, doesn't mean that TKI is all that's going to happen. We're also going to see some DPC openers, for sure.
But I think be careful, Akuma. That's a lot of hesitation. Needs to give up on an eyepiece, but thankfully it's quick enough. They're able to make their way to the second. The well is currently covered up. That's a really bad spot to put themselves in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong board the entire time. I don't even know if Akuma was doing DPC or not. I'm assuming since you didn't correct me that like it was probably fine, but no, it was Milky Way that did the DPC. And it's been looking really solid this match, but not right now. Akuma with the times 10 right now is still going strong here.
A little bit of hamburger stacking to keep that going. Lets all the resources fly, but Milky Way still able to survive. Is unfortunately
how much longer?
Shy of getting to the necessary Mino to downstack and has to give up the IP, and that is a fatal compromise. Is Akuma able to take down Milky Way? Evens things up back 2-2. advantages in Friendship and Tetrio's favor, but given that Tiki and Akuma are still left standing, very tough spot for them to be playing.
Yeah, and I assume they're gonna save Kuro as the anchor. If they're gonna send in Clear Sky, if they think that they can take out a player of Akuma's caliber, then I suppose you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, I think it was a wise decision to send Akuma first instead of Tiki here. I think Routed Trolling did make the right call here, just because of what I was saying earlier, where like, the Akuma still has the all-spin talent when necessary, but also doesn't need to rely on that in the same way that a player like Corpy does. And so we're gonna have to see if Akuma can continue this up, where Friendship Tetrio gonna bring us back to the lead. The S piece misdrop from Akuma, though. The T piece misdrop from Akuma. Still able to get
down to the I piece.
Yeah, super clean well in the eyepiece, and okay, it's not over just yet, but still, very advantageous.
Oh, and the mid-drop catch for Clear Sky.
Yeah, Clear Sky has one washing machine.
Oh,
not
these
over
skims
Clear
are...
Sky either.
Oh, how in the world are we still alive? Finally, scraping by with everything they possibly could. But Akuma able to recover from that dangerous situation and push things now on to Friendship is Tetrio's last player, Applejack, also known as Kurotso. But Kurotso as well has had quite a success in this season of TWC. Initially was a little bit hesitant with Season 2 rule set, but has since adapted to it quite fantastically so, and had really great success.
Yeah, no, Kurotso's definitely been popping off a lot in Season 2. But despite allegedly not even, liking the Season 2 rule set very much at all. But, sometimes... I mean, when you have this much money on the line now, and people are relying on you, you gotta put in all the work.
We haven't really brought up recently that the prize pool is substantially higher than it was when the tournament started this evening.
Yeah.
Alright.
But I mean, like we were saying earlier, also for the love of the game, and Kuro, definitely loving that back-to-back top 4 right now, but the 22 spike from Akuma, oh my god, that was over in 13 seconds. That's just gonna do it. Routed Trolling just ending this match, moving on into top 4. I think, Akuma took out 3 players in a row there, so great showing from Akuma. Tiki not even needing to come out for that set. So they're looking nice and poised for this loser semis that they're going to have to play in soon.
Yeah, so it's still a really great showing from both teams, as unfortunately for Friendship is Tetrio, where that run did outperform their seeding, so big props to them as well for that performance. And Rounded Trolling going to continue to move on. Wait, that was Rounded Trolling, right? Okay,
yes, there's Routed Trolling. So now we're going to get Square Pusher versus 52. We love bursting. There we go. It hasn't shown up properly on the battle fight yet, but those are the 2 teams that are going to be playing against each other next as we get through this other side of losers quarters, get our loser semis situation formed up here.
And then we'll probably be heading back to winners finals for our set following this one, but oh boy, what great matches we have. We're basically down to our top 5 seeds now.
We really are. And you were saying earlier this is well before this set even started. This is going to be a very exciting set here, 4 versus 5th seed.
Well, to be fair as well, I did not anticipate the seeding for the top teams to go out this well, because it definitely did it in Fractal. There were upsets all over. So it's kind of crazy that it's working out this way, but, we only have 4 spots in our top 4, and both are going to have to compete for their livelihoods to make sure that they're the last team that earned a spot.
Yeah, and this is going to be a very exciting competitive set. I think this Square Pusher team does have the slightest advantage going into this, but this is still extremely winnable for We Love Bursting. They have players like Fort and Gyan and Cuffholden. Still players that can beat anyone given the right circumstances, and with the volatility of a 1-1 in the first place, where each player only has 1 shot to make their mark. And we're just gonna start with Hamburger Pie versus Ronka, which you would expect Ronka to take this one and put Square Pusher up on the board, given that advantage, but Hamburger Pie still, like, once we reach this point in the bracket, any of these players can make it happen. All it takes is just one mistake. And, ooh, that was a really good find from Hamburger Pie. And getting times 6, but...
A little bit slower, so needs to skim. Can't take full advantage of what they were stacking up. And...
Okay, so cheesed up now. This is going to be so hard to bring this back. But not impossible. Getting the 4 combo. And, I mean... yeah, they wanted as much back-to-back as possible out of that, but just weren't able to get it in time. Like, Rumka just putting on too much pressure too quickly, utilizing their speed to their advantage. And, yeah, Rumka sending in the 14 spike. It's just too much to handle.
Unfortunately, I think cutting into the next piece, they might have been able to spawn in if that made it all the way over to the left side, but I think they were just trying to play a little bit too fast. So, Square Pusher taking advantage. But out of the players still left remaining, I mean, we've got 3 in the top 50, where I believe Square Pusher, I think, has about the same. Depends on where Reviclia is at. Like, they might have the talent for top 50. I just don't know if they play ranked that frequently. I'm pretty sure Dormy's up there.
Yeah, Dormy's in
top
50 still.
Cab does not really need the explanation of why they're in top 50. We've already seen that this stream.
Yeah. Well, true enough. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who they send out as the next player. If they're gonna send out Hey Danny or Cub Holden for okay, that caught me for a second. No, it's not versus Reviclia. No, they're on the same team. Don't think kill.
Mm-hmm.
And Hamburger Pie, Kaboozle Pie lined up. Now that's a screenshot. I mean, I sure they're right next to each other on the player list on the in-game menu right here. So that's pretty funny.
Well, I mean, that is a possibility if we get to that.
I mean, well, we'll see. Although, unfortunately, this is going to be the last time these two people play against each other. And Hamburger Pie already eliminated from the set. So, unfortunately, we're not going to get that head-to-head, as amazing as that would be.
Right. I think they're, yeah, so at the moment it looks like, I think, okay. I think We Love Bursting was trying to think over it a little bit. They might be sending in Cub Holden next. And I believe that's going to be the call. So I think, because yeah, I'm pretty sure Hidden Danny might.
Yeah.
Because like Cub Holden, Fort, and Yon99 are the 3 X-ranked players on that team. So,
yeah.
Okay, and then Cub Holden is going for stick spin to start off. Actually going to have a clean transition to the 9-0 well.
Yeah, ooh, that was a really clean transition into that. You're so right. And now back-to-back times 11. Cub Holden just going to try and get as much as possible here. Times 13, 14. Really good LST. But the 29 spike, yeah, Rumko is just too cheesed up. And so Cub Holden going to close the chapter on that. And, yeah, I mean, seems like this is exactly what they did the last time where they sent Cub Holden in second after Hamburger Pie. And, I mean, so far it seems to be working in. And, Nathan Ram, Philippines versus Philippines. And now I know better. Now I know that this will be a competitive match. I have been humbled.
Yeah, again, Nathan Ram may not be actively top 50, but their current, like, capabilities are still a little bit up in the air. Obviously, we know the familiarity with Season 1, and Cub Holden looks intentionally deciding to tank a little bit more, again, with the, change to Season 2 that you counter a little bit more in your first couple of bags. I think trying to get as much mileage out of Six Spin's ability to cancel to start off. And seems to have worked out pretty nice to begin with, but, 1, 2, 3
those are really
misdrops.
Yeah, those are such bad misdrops. As you were
right
saying.
in the center, too. Not going to be a great time. And so, that is now, again, momentum Square Pusher's favor. Having an extra player, but We Love Bursting. Again, although Hayden Danny, I think, is still relatively in the middle of the X-rate category, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I just see that way, like around the mid-X range.
And Gyan 99 and Ford especially so. If I can kind of bring them up as well, Ford is a very dynamic player in general. A lot of their matchups are, again, I'm not going to say like they're not consistent because they're able to consistently play at like a top 100 level, but they'll have days where they'll be upsets over top 10, and other games where they, just things aren't going well, and they're unfortunately dropping game players that they really wouldn't rather be doing so. But having them in a format where it's first to one just compounds that to a factor of 11, in my opinion. And if we do end up seeing Fort, it's really going to be a dice.
Yeah, and I mean, Nathan Ram really, like, putting in a lot of work right now. That J misdrop on Nathan Ram's side is so not good, though. And Hated Danny getting the S prop to continue the T-spin with back-to-back top 7, but immediately breaking it off and not really phasing Nathan in the slightest. As Nathan starts building up back-to-back of his own here. Back-to-back
I don't like that decision there. Oh,
boy. Yeah, the S just spawned in.
Yeah, it was either the S or the L piece. They like skimmed through to the well, but the thing is they had an IP coming up and they needed that quad underneath that misdrop in order to survive. Unfortunately, not able to achieve that in time. And so... And apparently, Nathan Ram's saying that they're having a little bit of lag, but I mean, they're currently 2-0 right now. So
bro, I'm
pretty good
lagging.
track record.
I'm lagging. You're literally beating X+. I don't know. This dude's power level just needs to be restrained for the good of the rest of humanity. Like, we're gonna be real scared if Nathan Ram's full power level gets unleashed.
I mean, if it's working out, it's working out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it sure seems that Square Push are getting to a huge lead. But Nathan Ram, the best SS ranked player the world has ever seen, and probably ever will see. Yeah.
And it looks like we're gonna keep this match. I believe still Philippines versus Philippines. Gyan 99 topping, and I believe next.
Yeah, a lot of these players are from the Philippines. Yeah, it's almost like they hosted a LAN there. It was a really
that is true. That was yeah. I know. Well, some of it I was unfortunately asleep for, but that's because Eastern time is a 12-hour difference.
It started at like 3 a.m. or something my time. So I was able to catch most of the Tetrio bracket though. But anyways, now we're moving on to this bracket, and Nathan Ram with the 10 combo 30 spike, and just continuing with the T-spins afterwards. But Gyan not out of it just yet. Not too terribly cheesed up, but still high up on the board. Now it's a lot of clean to work with. This is a dangerous situation for you to be in if you are Nathan Ram. But it's not impossible, though. He's so good! Well, both of them, really. Back-to-back times 9 has the T-spin set up for it. A 10 as well.
Oh, okay. And the spike, they're able to force the surge pop from Gyan 9. And so Nathan, a little bit of a sigh of relief. Obviously not completely safe, but able to make sure that surge disadvantage is mitigated as much as it could be. And wow. That
was just it. Okay, wow.
Yeah, that is it.
Dude. Nathan Ramathan. I don't know. I'll give you a better title in a bit. Well, we're gonna workshop that one for a hot minute, but man, Nathan Ram just doing.
We Love Bursting is on to their last player. It is literally just Fortissim right now.
Dude. Fortissim, extremely strong player in their own right, can still make this work on their own, but it would require an extreme level of consistency and would require just mowing through extremely strong quality of players. And I mean, first things first, you gotta get through Nathan Ram first. Like, already taken out Gyan, of Holden, and
that's 2 top 50 players already there. And obviously, like, Ford is going to be a behemoth of a player to try and upset. But, this puts a lot of pressure onto Fort. That has, Fort not only has to pull victories against Viclia and Dormy, but also Caboozled Pie, all without dropping a single game. And although they have the offensive abilities to make that happen, preventing one of those sets from going down the drain is going to be a really tough task.
Yeah, you just can't make any mistakes. You gotta lock in, brother.
Oh, but it's
that's for you.
You know, it's gonna take a lot out of. You know, like it's possible, but we're gonna need to see quite the timeline.
Oh yeah,
Right,
for
and
sure.
So, well, okay. I think Nathan was trying to send "good luck, have fun," some other thing in the message, but I think the lag might be getting to it a little bit.
We'll have to see. But Nathan Red starting off with the TKI. I don't know what Fort's doing, but it's something esoteric. It seems
A
to be
little bit of an early
looking
miss
at...
drop, but might just be an effort to
that's
play
it.
a bit conservative. Yeah, Fort's not really in the business of building up Surge at the moment, in favor of playing this much more safe, which, to be honest, if you're going to pick a match to play this safe for, it might be this one.
That is a good point.
But, you know, like, there's not a lot of time right now for Fort to warm up the impressive speeds that they're capable of.
Yeah, but already, now we're building up Surge. Fort building up a fractal. Nathan Ram with the JP's misdrop. That's going to close that chapter on Nathan Ram's immaculate performance in this set. There's so much work for the square pushers, but...
Yeah, they have 3 straight games against the, you know, basically like the next strongest team with a fantastic spot to put them in. And now it's Dormy, Viclia, and Caboozled. And yeah, Nathan Ram is immediately going and restarting their PC. I do not blame him.
Yeah, the fact that you were able to beat Gaon, I don't know if you had lag versus Cove Holder or not. I don't remember the exact timeline of everything with that down to the second, but being able to take it over Gian while your computer is lagging is ridiculous. Yeah, Warner Brothers could not write that. Like,
all right, and so it looks like Dormy is going to be getting sent in next.
That sure does seem that way.
All right, and so essentially, you know, one of the guideline titans that still puts up an extremely strong performance in Tetrio. But again, like although Fort is able to also put up quite a fight in guideline, Tetrio was much more their bread and butter.
Yeah, I think Fort's definitely going to have the speed advantage going into this, but I think Dormy might have the slight all-spin vision advantage. Although Fort definitely has really good all-spin vision of their own. You know, Dormy might have the extra fight, but not if you just get cheesed up by so much. This is going to be so difficult for Dormy to work through against a player as good as Fort. But, I mean, he's still doing it anyways. Wow.
It works through the cheese before Fort's able to send clean enough to top out, and so Dormy gets access to clean garbage. But not enough to counter for the second spike. Didn't even use Surge in Fort's case. Able to take out Dormy quickly with that one quick spike.
I was able to get the spike to set the back-to-back 8, not even needed to break Surge for that one. Force Sim 2 already halfway there to the dub, but now we're doing Caboozled Pie. We're sending Rivy for last. Interesting.
Okay. I'm not sure if that's kind of like just for like a playstyle difference, perhaps. But I'm trying to remember if I think they might have sent in Cab a bit for Reviclia last time, which I don't think worked out in winner's bracket. But to be fair, that was also, you know, facing the 1 seed of our event, which I think is fair.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, there's no other opponents that you need to necessarily worry about, so, like, you may as well send Cab in now.
All right, and Fort, with enough of a spike, will force the back Surge pop from Cab.
Yeah, but back-to-back times 3. Cab finds the cut copy, finds another donation, but is the TP's going to come in time? No, not quite, and, oh, this is going to be very difficult for Cab. Really backed himself into a corner there, so now Fortisim kind of doing the impossible right now. They managed to take out Nathan, and then Dormy, and then Cab, and then now it's just Rivy left, and it's starting to look favorable for Fortisim. He may be able to pull this upset off single-handedly, practically. Not entirely single-handedly, but
I will say, like, Cab was definitely the one that was probably most apprehensive from Fort's POV, but again, that's 3 of the 4 that Fort needed to take down to keep the set in We Love Bursting's favor. And Square Pusher, it's really just Fortisum and Reviclia. That is it. We are at a decider for who gets our last spot in top 4, our seed 4, seed 5, which seems very fitting that it's coming down to game 9. It's really just winner takes all at this point. Either Reviclia is going to have essentially the greatest clutch for Square Pusher, or Fort is going to take down 4 players consecutively to single-handedly bring that team back into top 4.
Yeah, either way, when we're at that situation where both teams are down to the last player in the set, like, it's just super clutch either way, no matter how it goes. But, yeah, I mean, Lita definitely can still do it. Sub-18 sprint, I always forget that Ruby actually is that fast.
Yeah, Reviclia has the speed if it's...
Yeah, it is, and it is going to be necessary, as we see right now. So, Fort,
I
with
think
the S drop?
But miss drop.
Oh no, that could be really bad. We'll have to see what Ruby's gonna be able to get off of that. That's gonna do it. Ruby clutches up for the Square Pushers, and they're gonna move on into loser semis, playing against the Rounding Error team.
And going back to what you mentioned before, again, all it can really take is one miss drop, and that could be your contribution off of the tournament list. And because that's decider, that is the set where Punisher takes it in an extremely quick game 9, but Reviclia able to clutch up, realizes that this, quick popping surge at 4 is enough to get that win condition. And so Rounded Trolling and Square Pusher will be facing off in loser semis, but not before we get potentially our marquee matchup of the night. Stare and Gear Team 2 are 1 and 2 seeds respectively in winners final.
Oh yeah, no, this is going to be such a good set for sure. We have the Cat Stare collab in full force here. All five of them in X Plus, more than ready to show their stuff. And yeah, Dear Team 2 in the huge makeover. So yeah, Gohan's team versus Westel's team. Because I always forget that that's like, they actually designate who is and is not the captain. And so I think like between both of these teams, like I think like Team Stare is more likely to win if you had to pick one, of course. But they are the favorites, but like Dear Team 2 is just such a strong team. They just have so many hitters that like this could definitely go either way. We saw how intense that set was just now recently with the C4 versus 5.
Also, wait, I just realized, who's the Vince that has the little like... Okay, so Vince is just the Stare. Is Gohan the... Oh, because
Gohan is the witch.
It's the witch hat. That's what it is. I was trying... Yeah. I'm like, what is the purple? I couldn't put that like together for the life of me. I was like, who is?
Yeah, because he's new.
Okay,
witch,
that makes sense. Yeah, okay. And then I also just realized there's the like 30% opacity mic for Kasane Teto's profile picture as well.
Oh, that's cute.
In the bottom right. I didn't see that the first time around. I thought it was just the hair, but no, the mic is there. So.
Yeah, no, it's so cute.
Yep. So okay, and I believe we're in the process of figuring out who goes against who. I'm not sure if we're at the point where we're going to be doing a coin flip of who sends in a player first. Because I think for both teams, they kind of had a track record of who to send in first. But since it's winter final, maybe, there's important getting picked first or second. Although I guess in the grand scheme of things, we do coin flip, and like if we do, who picks the coin flip?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure last time it was a coin flip that decided who picked first or second. So I'm a little curious how that one's gonna go.
That would make sense to have a way to actually distinguish that, because like we're reaching the point where it gets like super competitive, and we gotta have something in place there. I get shot. So we'll have to see, but it could very well be We could just follow that trend that we've been generally, with some exceptions of course, but generally we've been seeing the trend line throughout this entire bracket of just like going from weakest to strongest generally. So we could see Kasane Teta versus Cheese Whiz to start us off, perhaps. But we'll just have to see.
Right. And also looking at this as well, just another extra little bit of info. Apparently, Gohan has put in $1.11 to the prize pool. So I guess they've put in a little bit of their own blood, sweat, and tears to further incentivize them to play. Although, to be fair, already guaranteed a top spot, and a win here would solidify it as at least second place. I have a feeling they're probably going to get more than $1.11 back just for making it this far. If I were to guess.
I would assume so.
And also for those, if you want to support the players that have made it this far, as well as showing support to Tatos for putting on, which again, Tatos and I think Catboard Beta are kind of the two main staffers for this event. Have really put in a lot of effort making this possible. Please do go support. I'm just going to put the match arena as well in chat for those that do feel so compelled. And believe we'll be getting our first match underway very shortly, as I believe it's going to be Cheese Whiz versus Kasane Teto to start. And yep, no warm-up, just going to go straight into
Oh, wow, yeah, I called it actually. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll have to see. I mean, this honestly is a pretty exciting match. Oh, Kasane Teto starting off with a fractal into the S-spin. And but Cheese Whiz gets a T-spin triple. That's just so much, and you're well on the left side of the board is just so blocked off, and Kasane Teto taking full advantage of it.
Yeah, an important thing to note as well is that Cheese Whiz did have Surge that would be able to defend against that initial bit of damage, but because there was a 3-wide column and they had S and Z that they needed to place in the center, no position would force a skim, pop that Surge, and get a little bit of that back-to-back. So they just had to accept essentially everything. Was not able to tank at all. So Team Stare takes the first game, and they're in an advantage. But I mean, between both of the teams, we've got a lot of our top 10 talent. Or we can extend the top 20 talent or whatever. Just between these 10 players themselves. I mean, Stare having first, third, and fifth. Westel basically would be top 2 if they were ranked at them. But I think it's just not played sense. OSW and Shark, and I think Coldless as well, all within top 20. Although I might have to double check that on Coldless.
Yeah, Coldless is like top 50 right now, but was like top 50, 33 last season. At one point in season 1 was top 20, yes. Definitely a very strong player in their own right, and very reasonable counterpick to send into Kasane Teto here.
And to quote from chat as well, yeah, do be careful. If you blink, you may miss a couple of rounds at the time. So do be careful.
Oh, really good copy find on the opener from Kasane Teto. And Coldless going to continue creating a bit of an eye dependency here. And how hard is Coldless going to get punished for that? Seems like quite a bit.
Oh, cycles to the eyepiece.
That's not. Yeah, that's just it. Yeah. Kasane Teto bringing this set off to a really great start for Team Stare right now. Already putting 2 on the board here, setting up really dominant lead here. As their quote-unquote weakest player, things are going really well for the first seed team right now. So,
that's 2 quick rounds from Kasane Teto, and that Gohan, Turtle are all still alive. Those are primarily going to be the 3 biggest threats, I think, for Deer Team 2. Because right now, all their players left are within top 20. I know OSW and especially Shark I guess Shark has probably gotten the most experience of all of them combined. Shark's been able to play in almost everything. Westel has missed out on a lot of key matchups, just having conflicts with Apple Orchard Cup. And I'm curious how OSW is going to take this, because again, I think I've only touched on a little bit. OSW tends to play Season 2 just as if it's Season 1.
And that's looking really not good for him right now. That's just too many missed shots. It's over in the blink of an eye. Literally over in 10 seconds. Goodness. Kasane Teto on an absolute tear right now.
Didn't even really get a chance to showcase the playstyle off yet. Just 3 quick rounds immediately, and Deer Team 2 really on the back foot. Like, again, yes, Westel is present, which, you know, is very good to have in the back pocket. And so even once Westel did get upset, Shark was able to clean things up and win her semifinals. But again, the entirety of Team Stare is still alive and kicking, and that is a lot to ask of 2 members on Deer Team 2.
Yeah, it really is a lot to ask. But I mean, if there's 2 players that can make this happen, it would be Westel and Shark. But we're sending in Westel right now. We just gotta put a stop to this immediately, I suppose. And I mean, yeah, Westel could very well go on a Terror Zone like real shortly. And it's so interesting to me how like on like the average TL stats for Kasai Teto, like they play around like 2.8 PPS kind of range, but they've been playing like throughout this whole set so far like at least like 3.7 like every single time, from what I remember. And that last one against OSW, I mean, it was only the first 10 seconds, so like take it with a grain of salt, but yeah, that was 4 PPS. So definitely playing well above their pay grade right now.
Well, it's a pretty high pay grade for this event, just to, you know, throw that out there.
Yeah, in the first place right now. Oh, but Teto's starting off with the S-Miss drop, and I mean, I guess a player like Westel, this is probably just it. But even with Westel making this drop of their own,
yeah, unfortunately, just a little bit of a panic game on both boards. A 7-second round between Westel and Kasane Teto. 14 lines sent between the 2 of them combined, and that is it.
Yeah,
again, one misdrop. Well, that was with 7 misdrops, but sometimes that, you know, like it may seem like, oh, there was a ton of misdrops, but like keep in mind that was 7 seconds for an entire round. All right, so like even if you have 1 or 2 misdrops, you don't have a lot of leeway to really react to what's happening, and a lot of times that can just end up steamrolling the whole excursion.
Oh, definitely, and yeah, Westel just. This stacking is just so immaculate, just knowing exactly when to bail on the back-to-back, just absolutely zero hesitation on it, and just building it up so much. It's just so beautiful. 10 back-to-back, just breaks it off at the perfect moment, 31 spike, and that was over in only 21 seconds versus PCO. And yeah, Westel putting in the work in right now that he needs to if he wants his team to win this round, to win the set.
All right, so Gohan, Vince, and Turtle are the last 3 standings. You know, 1, 3, and 5 currently in Tetra League. Westel, I believe, has all 3 of them within typical tournament matches, but they are not always guaranteed sweeps and often take a couple of rounds apiece. So
yeah, Westel's exactly like what you were saying, Davo. It's like Westel definitely can beat all of these players, but asking anyone to even like Milkbot or like some like TAS or something to beat all 3 of these players back to back, like, you know, that's quite the tall order, you know. But Westel rising to the occasion right now currently with the back-to-back ×7.
Well, I mean, I think even just from the previous set, what we saw with Fortisum, was able to make really strong, impressive gains, but, you know, able to get the 3rd, and then unfortunately just a couple of misdrops against Reviclia was all it took. And Vince not... Well, just again, 1-2 misdrops and 500 versus out of Westel, over 5 people per second, and a 30-game round.
Yeah, 5.3 is just absolutely ridiculous. Like, Westel absolutely rises to the occasion right now, already taking out 3 players. And now it's Swan's turn.
It's back to even. It's essentially what probably could be equivalent as the top 3 players and Shark. But keep in mind, Shark is also, I believe, 6. So, like, this isn't really saying, like, that's not discrediting Shark. I'm like, oh, not in top 3. Shark is basically at the same, you know, caliber of play. It's just...
Yeah, I just realized the set already has been evened out to 2 versus 2 right now, but we'll see how much...
Go on, first to break back-to-back. Oh, that's a jagged board to work with, but...
Yeah, it's starting to get a little cheesed
around.
Is it going to be too much to work with? I don't know. Nope. So that's the back-to-back ×4. Now it's Westel who gets cheesed up instead, and going already back to the bottom of the board. You might notice this theme where both these players are just able to get back down so quickly, and to know just exactly when to bail on their back-to-back without any hesitation about it, because they know they're just going to get 5 more just a second or 2 later.
Oh, Gohan already from Westel, and Gohan This is really fast blitz speed.
Yeah, this is just so much going on right now. Gohan already with back-to-back times 4 again, immediately after breaking it. Times 6. This is just so
Goes
much.
for the mid-game DT. It works into a clean well. Combo search into the spike, and it's not enough to get Westel out of the top. Westel manages to get down to the clean garbage, but still not out of the woods yet. Gohan avoiding upstacking, trying to get as much garbage off as quickly as possible. Knows they have Westel on the back foot. That surge disadvantage is climbing slowly but surely.
Oh, the team is over. Is that gonna be it? Gohan getting a little bit cheesed right now. And Westel just taking full advantage of it. Just perfect back-to-back attacking. Breaks it off at times 6. The perfect moment. Has 2 more T-spins.
Oh my goodness, and Gohan again getting out of that really difficult spot. But neither player really having a lot of resources to work with, so they're going to have to upstack a little bit, but it's so dangerous when both players know they're extremely capable of sending well over 20 lines at a moment's notice.
The timing from Gohan was immaculate, but the Z-miss drop is going to be so bad. But still not over just yet. Westel.
Yep.
So it's a little bit. Oh, wait. Oh my god.
I think Westel and Gohan are both like trading blows. They're like trying to build that surge as high as possible and playing extremely greedy, trying to force a top out. Right now, Gohan has a lot on the board and unfortunately gets stuck with an S-piece, not able to work through with it. And Westel is 4 for 4, defeating the number 1 player in Tetra League. And it is now all down to Turtle to see if they can make it into winners finals. Or excuse me, not in winners finals, into end finals from winner's side.
Yeah, I mean, Turtle's still very capable of beating both Westel and Shark, but now the dynamic of this set has shifted completely and utterly from what it was before Westel jumped into the ring. Such an impressive showing right now, and very impressive.
Commenting the 4.8 pieces per second average from both of them at the same time, not even combined. You know, like most players can't even get to, you know, like 4.8 just to begin with, but having you and your opponent sustain that for almost, I think, a minute and a half that was.
Yeah, even getting a 4 in the first place is a challenge for both of us. I'm sure.
I don't think I've ever hit 4. I barely hit 3.
Well, in versus, I probably hit 4 like once, and it was like a meme, probably. I don't even know.
Westel building on top of PCO. Turtle is continuing through with SDPC. Ooh, does cover up the well a little bit early. Westel cheesed up, but that's not going to last very long.
And yeah, that is a good observation you made just now, Devo, about Westel build. Like, Westel likes to do that a lot, where he builds the C3, the 6-3 freestyle off of that PCO formation, and I think it's actually a pretty effective strategy in Season 2. Apparently not effective enough.
Yeah, Westel 1 piece away from making it to the IP. That was their ticket to survival, but the damage gets sent off fast enough that Turtle able to, even, you know, with a little bit of the speed disadvantage, coming through with over 100 lines in barely 30 seconds. And it is now winner takes all. Turtle and Shark. Honestly, I think this matchup happened at Apple Orchard Cup 3, if I'm not mistaken, and I believe this one might have went to match point.
Oh boy.
So this is, okay, I'm actually probably wrong on that, but I'm kind of...
Yeah, we'll
let me take a look, see if this happened.
We'll definitely find out after this, but right now this is the absolute decisive moment, seeing which group makes it to Grand's winner side and who has to go back down to the gauntlet. It's all up to this one first one. It's just so much tension right now, and both players win the timing game on these.
Who's gonna be patient? All right, Turtle is not patient. Turtle launches first. Oh, Shark. No resources, and it doesn't pay off.
Oh, the L and O misdrops from Turtle. Just not even, probably wasn't even able to make it out of that in the first place. But Flying Diarrhea, along with the Westel, just able to dismantle it. And it's this Team Stare, my favorites to win the tournament, getting sent down to losers. But they still have a good chance in Grands. But
I will say that Shark and Turtle was losers finals in Apple Orchard Cup 3. Turtle took it in a very close set, but when it's first to one, anything and everything is up in the air as Deer Team 2 with a 5-4 advances into Grand Finals. Shark once again having to play cleanup initially from Winners Semi, playing cleanup again in Winners Finals. Be very excited to see if something similar happens in Grand Finals, but right now we've got Losers Semis up next between Rounded Trolling and Square Pusher. Obviously, I know Square Pusher probably really hoping on that run back against Thera, as that set was also very close. Rounded Trolling has only lost to Deer Team 2 and hoping to see if they can perform an incredible losers bracket run to get that run back for a Grand Finals.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that was just such a beautiful set just now between those two teams. Like, especially in the Westel versus Gohan match, because it's a first to one for each player in this format, and there's so many people whose success also rides on yours. And like these, in combination with both of those players playing so fast, like you were saying, both of them playing 4.8 at the same time. It's just, you could really see the tension in their gameplay. It's just so beautiful to watch. Really.
And especially like within like typical 1v1 tournaments, we usually have sets go up to like 11 or potentially 15 to try and like allow consistency to have a little bit more of a say. But
for sure.
Tetrio as a whole, one of the most dynamic block stackers basically on the market, that when you have a first to one set, it obviously helps if you have several members of, your top 10, top 20, top 50, whatever it be. But it can really come down to just, one bad game, your marquee player is just out. Again, like we saw, Fort was able to take 3 games, but couldn't take the 4th on tiebreaker. Westel took 4 in a row, but, again, still had to fall back on having Shark as the anchor in order to win. Like, it really comes down to who else is on that team and what games everyone's able to take.
Yeah, no, you're so right. It really is a group effort. And the Square Pushers sending Rumka in as the point man again versus Tizago. And
no, Tizago upstacks a little bit much.
Yeah, that was
a 15-second round.
Yeah, that was a crazy upstack. And Square Pushers, they're starting up with a bit of an advantage right here, getting drawn first blood here, and round trolling. Seems like they're sending in Liller right now. Okay. Oh wait, Tizago's the captain. According to the Battlefy, apparently Tizago's the captain.
Probably the one that made the team, I guess.
Yeah, interesting. Because I felt like, at least when it came to like chatting, it came across as like Tiki was like more functionally the captain, but like who? Doesn't matter, really. Because what matters.
All right, and Liller setting up that 180 T-spin kick to settle for just a single.
What matters is the misdrops along the way, and yeah, I mean.
Oh, and Rumka. I think that was a really good effort of timing on their part. Sending those 16 lines, Liller basically had to take the whole thing and was not able to get a skim open to the clean garbage. As Rum takes 2.
Yeah. Rumka just like pushed up to the very top of the board, but had that 7 back-to-back surge to fall back on to give them a little leeway to dig out of that. And yeah, Liller just did not have that in time. So now it's Corpy.
Yep. And that is... Alright. So I think typically, round of trolling is kind of sent in the same pattern as before. Right. Early eye in this bag. And Corpy will be seeing TKI.
Yeah. Corpy not going to do that. Going to go for some all-spin chicanery instead, as we expect and love to see from Corpy. Forced to break the back-to-back early, though, which is really unfortunate in this situation, even though you do have a lot of clean garbage to work with.
Well, and I don't think Corpy was really that phased by having to send it a bit early.
Apparently not. And 11 spike. Oh, this is such a messy... Yeah, this is too much. Corpy able to take out his top 12 player in Malashevsky right now. So we'll have to see if that's the last we're going to see from Rumka in this tournament, or if the teammates on the Square Pushers are going to push the envelope into losers finals, and sending in Nathan Ram next.
All right, and again, Nathan Ram had an extremely strong performance in the previous set, taking I think 3 players out of the next closest team, which basically was kind of what helped them advance because, you know, it really put Ford on the back foot, and I think that's definitely what played into Square Pusher's victory. So we'll see if Nathan Ram's able to do something similar within loser semi.
Yeah, it was 3. 2 of them were X+. And so we'll see. I think, like, he still does have the speed advantage against Corpy, which, you know, doesn't really mean that much in the grand scheme of things when you're playing against someone with as unique of a playstyle as Corpy.
Oh, and that garbage was... Corpy literally had like a 50-50 of where that garbage was go up, and it ended up being perfect. Oh, but does have to break back-to-back.
With the back-to-back, but the misdrop on the J piece looking a little bit ugly. Definitely not unrecoverable, though. Not in the slightest. And Nathan Ram sending into 13, but Corpy getting the down stack as well. And, yeah, I mean, I feel like Nathan's doing a really good job holding on at the very least, and is definitely playing like a whole PPS fast right now, but the times forward, the misdrops are starting to creep in after we've played for another 45 seconds or so, and it's just too much for Nathan to be able to handle. Corpy getting 2 points on the board now. I think evening out the set actually to a 3-3.
And, yep, you are correct. So it's 3-3. Square Pusher at least has the kind of counter-pick momentum. Waiting with Reviclia, Dormy, and Caboozled. And I think they're going to be going with their same order as it worked out last time. Dormy is going to be heading in to face Corpy next, to my knowledge. So we'll have to see if rounded trolling, if the taking down Nathan Ram one game for Corpy be what's the, you know, what leads them to victory here.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much momentum Corpy is able to build up here if we get past Dormy. Both of these players, well, at least Dormy's played well.
This is also the one, well, two fun bits here. This is the one time I think Dormy will be able to confidently be at a speed advantage within IO, at least at this particular skill level. And it's also a match where neither player is using infinite soft drop.
Yeah, both of these players definitely much more efficiency focused within the context of IO. Yeah, but Dormy with the significant speed advantage even still.
But that is something that they're not used to playing with, I think.
Yeah, definitely not, but it is definitely a welcome to have. And getting the Z prop, Dormy continuing this back-to-back. Oh, Dormy's getting so much back-to-back right now at times 9, and it's just going to keep going because, well, okay, forced to break it there at times 11.
Yep, Corpy manages to find a way to force that back-to-back pop and has a down stack at the ready. See Corpy playing basically at one attack per piece at the moment. Really getting as much mileage out of these surges and down stack combos as possible.
Indeed, but Dormy back to times 5 already. Forced to break at 6, but Corpy getting the Z-spin follow-up. Not too bad of a board state right now, but it's like kind of like either eye dependency or just needed so much setup. And this might end up taking too much time. We'll see. I don't know. Dormy's also a little bit cheesed up right now. Actually, quite a bit, but...
Oh, and that's a really nice board right now for Corpy to work with. Builds up back-to-back, well converts perfectly. Able to still keep up that attack. Oh my goodness, Dormy!
Whoa! Okay, able to break it at 4. Able to stave off Corpy's attack just a little bit further.
Yeah, and that clean garbage right now from Dormy, really putting in the work. Corpy having to rely on all of these all-spins just out of thin air. Somehow has back-to-back advantage, downstacks the entirety of that onslaught from Dormy. And Dormy able to at least clean up a little bit on that left side. But with a heavy surge disadvantage, they're going to need to have a reliable way to get through the garbage. And just barely has enough to fight it off. Doesn't even need to downstack in the process.
Yeah, just barely survived it. Corpy just has such a good vision for the all-spins. Times 9 already, and at
Corpy
this
with
point,
surge advantage once again. Dormy is high on the board already.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. It's just with this much of a surge advantage. Okay, but Dormy's starting to find the way out. But is it going to be enough? It seems like it. Dormy's still alive. We're 2 minutes and 40 seconds into this right now, and
a little bit of a misdrop. And yeah, this is definitely a very long round by Tetrio Teams Cup standards. We've had so many games that end in, 10 to 15 seconds. Going on 3 minutes now.
Yeah, I mean, this is the advantage of being on the slower, more efficiency-oriented side of things, is that, like, when you play against someone who's has a similar skill set, similar strengths to yourself, you're able to have these long matches. But, Dorby as the search for perfect time. Is Dorby going to be able to make it out of this still? Oh my god, I think Dorby has a shot, maybe.
It's the Z-spin. Oh, Dormy is really relying on a lot of skims,
no,
but does not have an option after that. Z locks in the center.
I think Dormy had a way out. But even with that, Corby's still putting on so much heat that... Yeah, Corby really riding the momentum right now after an over 3-minute long round against Dormy. Able to come out on top, taking 3 in a row against the square pushers.
All right, and it looks like Cab going in once again, which leaves Reviclia as the anchor. It did work in the previous set, but yeah, it definitely has a lot more work ahead of them.
Yeah, that is very true, but I mean, it did work last time, so we'll see. Cab definitely someone with similar Allspin vision to someone like Corpy, and has like the 4 PPS gameplay to back it up as well. So this is a tall order for Corpy, but definitely showing that previous round that it can be done. Back-to-back times 7, forced to break it though, Cab, but still just gonna be able to get back down to the bottom of the board so quickly, just like that. And that's Corpy's turn with the back-to-back times 6. So a bit of a dependency going on right now in a way, but at least in terms of you want to keep the back-to-back. But you don't have to when you've already brought it up to 7. You just need to keep surviving. But Cab with times 11 right now is just so much to be able to handle right now. Times 13 with the speed drop.
Oh my gosh, the tree squad underneath the stack, but there's no down stack possible. It doesn't matter. I mean, to be fair, there is like a basically impossible timeline where Cab's surge pop is enough to top out Corpy and just stalls underneath the stack. But I think Corpy also would have been able to do that too.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Good lord. All right.
And Corpy right now is 4 for 4, on the verge of getting an ace over Team Square Pusher. But I think of all the players remaining, this is probably the most creative stacker left, and really going to push Corpy to their limits.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Only time will tell, but Corpy, like, still playing very well in the previous sets, but to their standards, perhaps underperforming, and now going on an absolute tear, being Rumka, and then Nathan,
and there's the
and
then there from Corpy.
Yeah, Corpy getting the PC.
That's a lot of early skims there from Reviclia. Able to still, oh boy! And Corpy now not able to get the proper time.
That was just over. Okay, alright. Let's go, Ricky!
And 16 seconds, Corpy unfortunately falls, but taking 4 games is probably about as much as Corpy was looking to get out of that. And Reviclia, having taken 1 player down, is now 2 wins away from filling the anchor role once again. But this is going to be really difficult sets, you know, both against Akma, probably a lot more speed-oriented player, and they're going to have to switch immediately to play the all-spin-oriented.
Yeah, it's just so much because the square pushers were off to such a strong start, but then Corpy went on an absolute crazy run. And so now it's Reviclia having to take out Akma and Tiki back-to-back.
This is really good board, though, for Reviclia. A lot of all-spin potential, and we're definitely getting to see that in action.
Yeah, that is true. I always forget about
a little bit too. I was gonna say Akma was playing really overly safe. Didn't have Surge to counter anything, and Reviclia with 1 strong swoop brings it to match point. Game 9 here in loser semifinals between Rounded Trolling and Square Pusher. Square Pusher once again on a Game 9 situation. Reviclia trying to fulfill the anchor role to the best of their ability. And all the pressure now on Tiki to try and pull this through.
Yeah, another set that goes absolutely down to the wire. And, you know, Rivi is the one with the momentum right now.
Oh, and Dono over the C-spin.
That was a good fix. That was a good fix. Keep your stack super clean. That is a lot of damage sent from Tiki, though. Is it too much? Doesn't seem like it quite just yet, though.
Ooh, I envisioned the misdrop from Reviclia. I'm very glad that didn't happen, because that was would have been absolutely a death sentence.
Oh, definitely. Now it's Tiki starting to get a little cheesed up now, and now it's Lita with the ×10. Oh, such a creative all-spin vision. I was definitely underrating that previously. Yeah, no, you need a T-spin there, yeah. There you go. And then...
You can see as well, Tiki is intentionally keeping this board low, is trying to force Reviclia to pop back-to-back before they're ready for it. Tiki has that down stack. There's the quad multiplier, retaliates and forces Reviclia into the defensive just as quickly as that damage got sent over.
Yeah, but Lita getting the ×4 on board has something to defend with at least as we move back down here. And yeah, both of these players just all spin savants in their own right, so...
He had to count that, make sure that there was enough room on their board to survive that spike.
Yeah. For sure, getting the Z-spins through, and back ×4. Alright, yeah, we're back to it. Lita back with the
almost
surge.
dropped though, that could cut off opportunities for Tiki. Needs to be really careful as Reviclia obtains back-to-back advantage.
Yeah, but Tiki returns down with the 21 spike, forces Lita to break early. But Lita already, just as soon as it left, it comes back. Lita with surge
the missed
again,
again from Tiki. This might be fatal.
Another missed from Tiki. That's going to be it. Lita clutches out, and the square pushers are going to take it over round and trolling. Moving on to losers finals.
Another 5-4 from square pushers, but Reviclia as the anchor has proven to be successful. And to be completely honest, I think it's only failed against Shark, who was also in a... Actually, wait, hold on. Where's... Or no, against Stare. What was the... What was the set count there? 5-3. I'm trying to remember which matchup Reviclia was...
Oh man, I don't remember. There's just
Gohan? No.
I don't know. This has been such an action-packed, intense tournament that that was only like 2 hours ago, and I don't remember.
I mean, think about it. Our of current matches that have happened, all of the 5-4s have been the last 3 consecutive matches. Between Square Pusher and We Love Burson in losers quarterfinals, between Stare and Deer Team 2 in winners finals, and between Rounded Trolling and Square Pusher in losers semi.
Wow. Okay.
And Square Pushers is off 2 deciding wins, and now gets no rest going directly into Team Stare for the rematch.
Indeed. Wow. Yeah, Corpy is on such a tear, but yeah, Lita's still able to clutch up and really do such a solid job as the anchor. So we'll have to see. I think going into this losers final set here, between Stare and I always keep forgetting that that was still such a crazy set. Yeah, it's gonna be Stare versus Square Pusher again in losers finals. I think they're still gonna go like Caboozle second to last, and then Lita as the anchor again. And I think we're gonna have to see if Team Stare does a similar thing, if they save Gohan for the anchor, perhaps.
Yeah, which again, keep in mind as well, like that was Corpy's best performance, taking out 4 players, but Reviclia as well, just basically almost answering with a similar performance to continue on Square Pusher's tournament run. And oh man, now again, it's really just left to Stare, but if Square Pusher is able to overcome Stare, they have lost no one else alive in the tournament.
Yeah, that is true. It definitely would be something. I mean, we were saying earlier in that previous set how Lita being able to overcome Tiki and
Akuma.
Yeah, and Akuma back to back would be a tall order, but Lita rose to the occasion in such a beautiful way. Just.
Yep. So the general recap as well. So this is our losers finals match with Nucleus. So right now we have Deer Team 2 that's awaiting the fates of everyone in losers finals. They've already got a set buffer having winner's bracket. But at the current point in time, our 4 Square Pusher coming off of 2 tiebreaker victories, making it into losers finals, and then Team Stare that did eventually knock down Square Pusher to losers has fallen to Deer Team 2, and this is our losers finals matchup. So this is essentially loser. This team is out at 3rd. Also, I do want to give credit where credit's due to Rounded Trolling coming out at 4th place. Still an incredibly strong performance through this tournament. But we're down to 3 teams left, Stare and Square Pusher, only one of these teams can be making it into Grand Finals, and this is going to be the final set to determine who makes it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so it seems like the Square Pushers are having a lot of success sending Rumka as the point and Leda as the anchor, and I don't know why this works, but Vince!
This is an interesting proposition. Vince is getting sent in first now from Stare.
Vince on point, interesting. We're starting off real strong with Vince versus Rumka. Oh my goodness. And, alright, and yeah, Rumka started off really solid with a 7 combo. But how much is this gonna be?
Oh wow, lovely spins there from Vince. Again, doesn't really need to keep that back-to-back, as Rumka's also ended up popping the back-to-back surge. And
ridiculous 37!
Combo.
13 combo from Vince!
The triple did 8 damage. That's how long the combo was. The triple had a multiplier.
The triple had 8 damage? Oh my god, Vince! This may have been the change of strategy that needed.
Not many, but some may perhaps wonder, why does the cheese world record holder reside in the hands of Vince? I believe you now understand why.
Diaz stack more like Vince stack.
Alright, and Dormy's getting sent in next, leaving Nathan Ram a little bit to keep it up. So this is now probably the 2 most creative stackers we've consistently seen nominated at our Stacky Awards every year, which, by the way, a little shout out.
That is very true.
If you have any highlights from this tournament, make sure to hold on to them when we get our nominee forms out later.
Oh yes, for sure. Submit us to the Stackies. Yes. Fine. We'll have to see how this goes first.
Oh, and both Vince and Dormy popping surge immediately at 4, answering toe-to-toe, blow for blow. Ooh, Vince giving up on a T-piece in order to build up that surge a little bit more. And Dormy needs a down stack, able to grab the quad on a little bit of a multiplier, which is going to keep them alive.
I don't think Vince is going to let this happen in time, though. But Dormy is such a clean stack to work with, though, that this could end up... Oh, but that was the perfect...
The beautiful well for Vince to follow this up with, and Dormy does not have a response cooking. The 1 APP from Vince.
Yeah, it was just the perfect time to send out the surge, and then just still had more in the kitchen, more cooking after the fact. Just such an issue from Vince so far. And unfortunately for the Square Pushers, this gambit of trying to combat Vince with similarly skilled players is really not working out. They're down 5-3, and they still have Nathan Ram on the team, who is still an extremely good player in their own right. Took 3 points on his own in a previous set, but yeah, now we're just sending in Cab. This is starting to look a bit dire for the Square Pushers right now, if we're already pushed to send in Cab.
Alright, no OPs to start. Although we do get a TD from Vince, and Cab just building over the PTO. It's been a very common opener in Season 2.
Copy into the Fractal, into another Z-float, and the 20 spike. Cab is just going ridiculous right now. Getting the Z donation, getting more going on board right now. Time 6 spike, 7, and Vince is trying to keep up, but it's just too much. But the Jameis drop.
A little bit of a misdrop. It can Vince capitalize in time, gets an 18 spike. Does put Cab on the back foot, but not without resources. Cab able to dig down and keep that stack manageable.
Yeah, and right now, Cab is just still doing so much right now, but Vince starting to get a little cheese on the board. But the obvious drop from Vince, still able to correct it pretty quickly here. 9 times back. 10! Oh, who's gonna break back-to-back first? It's gonna be Vince, and I don't know. Both of these players are just getting out of these precarious situations so unbelievably quickly. You just blink and they're just... all of the garbage is just gone immediately.
Oh, Cab with 7 back-to-back right now.
Out of 9. Does Vince have an answer to this? Or is Cab going to be able to run away with this now? No, they just get out of it so quickly, but Cab has 5 back-to-back already. Still setting up pattern stack of some sort. The eye spin, this is just so much. But Vince already back to the bottom of the board in time.
Oh my goodness, what a good spike there from Cab that forces the Purge Pop from Vin. Oh, and a couple of misdrops. I think just the Z, actually. That might have just been the one misdrop, but that's enough. After almost 2 minutes, Cab able to end the reign of Vince in this set and trying to start clawing a little bit more momentum back. Team Square Pusher.
Yeah, it's finally a fatal misdrop for one of these players, and like they're both playing so well the entire time. It's just such good downstack, but it was aggressive downstacking too. They were building attack through it as well. It just shows how good these players are. But throughout the course of that match, I should say, consistently Cab was able to build up the back-to-back surges more frequently, and that was probably the ultimate decider there.
All right, and so Kasane Teto is going to be sent in to take on Cab in this match. Doing a really good job with the all spins and has some pretty solid burst speed. And oh my goodness, Cab, one eyepiece away from topping out.
And with the mishold
goes down. At the start, basically had almost not enough eyepiece, but then had too many for the down stack.
Yeah, now it's just too late in Nathan Ram. Oh my god, wait, are they actually?
Wait, I don't know. Well, I think Raviclia is assuming that this is time for the anchor, but Nathan is also like, I'm also here. So, all right, and Cab is going to decide. Nathan Ram gets sent in against Kasane Teto.
Yeah, I think that's the right choice there, honestly, since like
it does leave Raviclia as the anchor, but like, oh my goodness,
yeah.
Like there are 4 members of Team Stare still alive, with both Gohan and Turtle on the line. Raviclia is going to have to pull over 3 incredible anchor performances in a row, and Nathan Ram right now just trying their hardest to try and make sure that that job is as easy as it possibly can be for Raviclia. And the huge LST burst off Rip is going to earn the top out.
4 PPS round from Nathan Ram. It's wow, yeah. I feel like I definitely agreed with this decision from the Square Pushers here, since this is like the perfect opportunity to get the most mileage out of Nathan Ram that you possibly can. But now it seems as if they're sending in Gohan now to just shut down the Nathan Ram train once and for all. Which I think that makes sense, since you still have Turtle in the back pocket as an anchor if Nathan Ram and Orleda start to get crazy amounts of mileage. So I think it makes sense for them to send in Gohan right now. It's what it seems like they're doing.
All right, so it is apparently, yeah, this is... All right, Nathan Ram versus Gohan.
Oh boy.
See if the power of the Nathan Ram's LST is enough to take down Gohan. It is definitely going to be a difficult match, but the 1-2 misdrop immediately, but Nathan Ram goes for a greedy DT continuation, and it's going to be a fatal...
Oh, it's just so much. Nathan had a Z-piece misdrop at the very beginning, was able to resolve it relatively cleanly, but Gohan was just spending way too much, way too quickly for...
All right, and so
contend.
This is now the third opportunity for Raviclia to pull up a clutch anchor performance. Needs to take down Gohan to start, which is, already very, very difficult to say the least. I don't think we really need to address that. But still has, I believe, Turtle in the back as well as PCO.
Yeah, both Turtle and PCO in the back. And that's if you get past Gohan. And Gohan, the current #1 player in the game right now. Just super fast player, super great all-spin vision. And just that such will to win that you hardly see. Just so much energy.
All right, and Raviclia just
already. Whoa, times 6 already. Hello, calm down, Gohan. What are we doing?
Really jagged stack right now for Raviclia, but Gohan doesn't really have enough to make a giant spike at the time, but might not need to.
Oh, that's it. It's over. That's gonna be it. Excuse me. The Stare making their way back up into the grand finals. Still on the side though, but they're still making it into grand finals as they would want, and the Square Pushers bowing out 3rd place, but still very impressive showing from this team as a whole.
Again, incredible upsets all across the board from Stare and Square Pusher. As the smoke clears those, Stair eliminates Square Pusher once again, ejecting them from the tournament bracket at 3rd place. But again, do keep in mind the prize pool already is well over $1,000 and still growing at this point, which, by the way, if you do want to support these players, !info has our Match Arena link. But we are going into our grand final set with the rematch from Stair and Deer Team 2. This was already an incredibly tense matchup between these two. Just upsets happening all over the place. And, well, it came down to Shark being the anchor in winners finals. Raviclia, unfortunately, not able to perform it against Team Stair. We'll have to see if Shark's able to do similar, I guess, in in grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see, because, you're exactly who you were saying, Dave. It's just such a good set the previous time, so we'll just have to see how this goes. And now that Team Stair is in the loser side and really is fighting for everything they have, because now, especially more so now than ever, like, so much is on the stake here at this set in particular. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, they're splitting it like 5-way, right? But like, in terms of the teams as overall entities, like hundreds on the line with this set, with this grands. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So at the moment, which I don't know if this will get expanded or whatever, but I'll just take it as, at the moment, it says first place will get 45% of that prize pool. Even if you're splitting that 5 ways, that's basically 10% of the prize. That's almost $100 to each individual player on that.
I think that is $100 per
so,
player.
That's a pretty nice payout if you're able to win this event.
And that's what both of these teams are looking to do right now. Their Team 2 sitting nice and pretty on the winner's side right now. Trying to see what their anchor will be. They could go back and switch it back up and put Kasane Tedo as the anchor, as the point, for the set, but it's looking as if they want to send Vince as the point again this time.
Yeah. Stair, I don't really think has had, like, an anchor per se. They've been a little bit more flexible with their order. Deer Team 2 has had a pretty formulaic order, but Shark has very much been it has not been Westel.
Yeah,
and although I will, again, point out, Westel did go 4-4 in winners finals, which was, very needed at that point in the set. But, like, this is, like a solo carry. Like, the roles that each person playing on this team is very, very vital. Although, obviously, it's a little bit skewed to our top 10 players, essentially.
Yeah, I think it's actually a very smart idea from there to fully utilize their depth talent. Just having 3 top 5 players, being able to put one of them at point is just so strong for, like, forcing the opposing team to send someone else out instead of just going from, like, oh, we're just going to go from, like, our weakest to our strongest, so that way they have the most opportunity to make things happen. It's like, that, we'll have to see if Deer Team 2 still sends out Cheese Whiz, or if they're going to send someone else out to combat Vince. So, it just gives the team another layer to think about right now, and I think it seems like the right call here for Team Stair.
Yeah, and also just a little bit of a shout out here as well. So of these 10 players, we've got 7 of them that are in X+, which is already the top 80 or so players, as he called that earlier. Cheese Whiz is the only player not actively in X+, but has been X+ in the past. And of the current players that are ranked, I think we have 5 of top 10, or almost so.
So it's
like just about.
So in the top 10 right now we have Gohan, Turtle, Vince, Shark
is at 6, right?
Yeah,
And of the players that are, I think, 2 in.
So it's 4, but if Westel were like actually ranked, Westel has enough TL to be in the top 10. TL.
Yeah, so just going down the line, Gohan number 1 in the tournament. Cab number 2 has been eliminated. 3 Turtle in the set. 4 Saka Gohan is not playing. The only highest player that's not playing. Number 5 Vince in this set. Number 6 Shark in this set. 7 Promo not playing. 8 FS has been eliminated. 9 Fort eliminated. And then just like of the top 10, like just the fact that already I've barely gone through the top 10. Like, yeah, these players are either eliminated or currently in this set. A good number of them are in this set.
Yeah, like.
And that doesn't even count Westel, because Westel's not even in the leaderboard.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, all right, and wow, okay, so I believe this is not the warm-up, but Westel is getting sent in first. Westel is choosing to start off this match.
Oh, we're doing Westel,
I believe, to try and counter his early momentum.
All right, yeah, we're getting Westel at point. All right.
This is definitely a very difficult matchup for Vince, but if Vince is able to find a spike at the opportune time, this could be a really good start for Team Stair. Yeah, that would be huge for them if Vince can take out Westel here. But right now, not looking too promising. Westel with the back-to-back times 11-25 spike, but Vince keeping up with it. Not favoring that, not taking any garbage from that. Yeah, this not even sending as much garbage, but doing an incredibly job of staying efficient. Almost 1.25 on the efficiency department. Just from all of this garbage countering and all-spin gameplay. Look at the efficiency now from Vince. Yeah, it's so much. And it hasn't fallen. Oh, where's so much drop? Is it gonna be too much? Oh, it's too much green. Vince takes it over Westel. That puts 500 versus from Vince. The efficiency is quite literally off the charts. I think 1.2 attack per piece. And that is the #1 player from Tier Team 2 out. Immediately ejected from our Grand Finals bracket. Now, to be fair, Stair, if they win this set, will have to reset the bracket. So Westel is not entirely gone. But that is a very shocking game one to have between Tier Team 2 and Team Stair. Yeah, no, this definitely makes it so much easier for Team Stair to bring this all the way back. Just makes this set one a lot easier and gives them some momentum going into set two if they can close this out. I still think it would be wise for wow, they're really scared of Vince. They're they're really scared of Vince. I was gonna be curious, because Shark has been the anchor, but Shark has also only had to follow West. And it looks like they're sending in Shark to take down Vince. But if Shark is not able to take a game here, this could very much be a sweep for Vince. As I think Vince has winning matchups against the rest of the team. I would say so. And yeah, I was going to say they probably should still keep Shark as the anchor. But now that I think about it, it's like, I don't know if you can really rely on just rely on Vince misdropping and you'll be fine. You'll win eventually. Because, Vince just downstacks out of these situations so quickly. My guess is they probably just don't want Vince to build up too much momentum. If you send in people that you have a lot less confidence in against Vince. But, I mean, oh boy, that's a lot to get through. Is there a skim option? There is not. No, there was no escape. That was such a good sequence from Shark there. Back-to-back times almost 20, building up to 30 spikes, sending even more on top of that after the fact. And just Shark probably needed that win to keep Tier Team 2 alive in that. But keep in mind that both Gohan and Turtle are definitely still alive and in this bracket. That was a really good thing for keeping Tier Team 2 in the set 1 of Grands here to be able to take out Vince. But at the same time, this gives Stair the perfect flexibility to pick and choose exactly who to counterpick Shark with. Who is better against this specific player between Turtle and Gohan. I would assume between those two. Do want to send other than Mr. strongest player. It seems like they're going to go with Turtle here. And so all right. Not if they're going to need to send out Gohan immediately after. Not going to be currently taking aim at this. But this is still, again, for Shark, any of these wins, having 3 of the top 5 players currently ranked in CL, every win you can grab is going to be important. But after an immediate misdrop on the opener, and Turtle shuts it down, making this bracket reset much more likely. Yeah, no, that was just a very unfortunate sequence for Shark there. And right now, it's going to be up to everyone else. OSW, Cheese Whiz, and Coldless. All extremely strong players in their own right side. Yeah, and it looks like, for honestly, at the moment, Tier Team 2 is kind of going in reverse order. And although Stair has been kind of able to compensate, Team Stair has advantage by a significant amount.
Yeah, they really do, because they still have Gohan lurking in the back as well. Like, someone on Deer Team 2 needs to beat Turtle, and then Gohan's still waiting for them. That's just so scary. And 24 spike from Turtle, OSW. Really clean stack, though, from OSW. The Z-miss drop from Turtle, that might be it. No, that's going to be it. OSW takes out Turtle and evens us out to a 3-3. But it seems like both of these teams are sending their players out in, like, that reverse order. They're going from, like, strongest to weakest now. And so...
but then who gets sent in for OSW?
We could see Gohan. At the same time, they may want to conserve their death count a bit. They might send in PCO or Teta versus OSW. It's entirely possible they might do that.
Looks like the initial decision that they're looking at is probably Kasane Teto to start.
Yeah, I don't think
it's entirely sure.
Yeah, I think this works because, like, as opposed to, like, when FD was still in the room, was still, like, the active player, like, it makes much more sense now to send out someone like Kasane Teto that, like, has enough X factor to take out a player like OSW.
Oh, enough X factor. I mean, Kasane Teto took out Cab earlier, so I have no doubt in that.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, so much has happened this tournament already, just in the top 8.
Isn't it crazy how much you forget about?
Oh my god. There's just so much action and so much history happening, just hitting me all at once. It's impossible to.
All right, OSW, 2 more wins could put Deer Team 2 as winning without dropping the set, despite Westel and Shark going down.
Yeah, but the final barrier, really, or at least the biggest barrier, Gohan, coming out of the woodworks now that Teto's been eliminated.
All right, take a look.
This is probably the most important round of the set, honestly.
I mean, if OSW wins this puts a huge load of stress off of Deer Team 2, especially because they also are coming from winners bracket, so they have a set buffer. But Gohan is looking to make quick work of OSW and does so in barely 15 seconds.
Dude, 5 PPS. Oh boy, yeah, we're playing with everything we got now. There's no more saving energy for later.
So it is now up to Coldless and Cheese Whiz to take down Gohan and PCO. Favor is probably still within the line of in favor of Team Stare, but it's it's still not incredibly comfortable, as Gohan is again self-proclaimed like extremely familiar with the misdrops, a little bit similar to OSW.
Oh yeah.
It's honestly, I feel like from all the tournament play that I've seen of a lot of our like drop nominees, Gohan, OSW, Westo, they've been phenomenally consistent. Just over the first to ones, and maybe that's because it's first to ones, and I'm not like consistently over an extended period of time. But like in these games where they've had to make it count, they have made it count.
Yeah, indeed. And so, I think it does make more sense to send Coldless in here. And okay, we got it off.
Yeah, like again, this is like for Gohan. This is probably like don't want to have to risk PCO having to get 2 games in a row. So this would be absolutely monumental. But this would also still be such a good game if Coldless is able to find a win. Has to break Surge a little bit early. Gohan,
PC.
Do too much, unfortunately.
Yeah, Coldless still has a good stack though, but Gohan responding with the back-to-back ×4, but Coldless responding with the back-to-back ×4 with his own, played super well this match right now. Oh, but push to the very top of the board. I think that might end up being just a little too much. We'll have to see how Coldless does. Stacks out of the 8 combo. Such a good find from Coldless.
Another quad multiplier as well to follow it up, but reads for some all-spin setups over on the left-hand side. And Gohan's going to keep sending in damage. There's probably not a solution with all of that waiting. And Gohan is 1 game away from hitting bracket reset on this event.
Yeah, Coldless did so well that round, but after a certain point, Gohan found that one opening finally to just break through and completely steamroll. And so now it's going to be Gohan versus Cheese Whiz, so Yeah.
The
In order to
pressure
win,
is all on Cheesewas right now. So again, if Deer Team 2 has sent in their top players first, but they have gone out, Team Stare still has Gohan left as the active player and PCO sitting in reserve.
yeah, in order to win this set and close this tournament out immediately, Cheesewas would have to beat both Gohan and PCO back to back, which is possible, but of extremely tall order considering what Gohan's playing like right now.
We've seen some incredible 4 in a row, but this might be more difficult than all of those combined, I think, at least from Cheese's perspective.
Perhaps. We'll have to see, though. Either way, Deer Team 2 still has... If I choke this, I'd go delete account. Alright, well, I hope not. And, oh, Cheesewas already... I don't know if that's an opener setup or, like... What's up with that? But Gohan already at a huge advantage right now. Back-to-back top 7, 8... Now we're just gonna count along together, and that's just so much speed.
Gohan.
Yeah, that was just too much to contend with. Now, that's gonna be Stare taking first set of Grand Finals, so we're gonna be getting the bracket reset since in the winners finals, Deer Team 2 won that previous set. In order for Stare to take the tournament, they had to win 2 sets in a row. So now this is the final set of the tournament between these two incredible teams right now.
Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, don't go anywhere. We've still got another set happening between Stare and Deer 2. Oh my goodness. The fact that, like, again, it was a really extremely greedy play, I think, from Deer Team 2 to send in Westel first, but it was also incredibly shocking to see that Vince came out victorious in that, because that incredibly set the tone for Stare's victory in Grand Final Set 1. But with the standard order for winners finals, Deer Team 2 seemed to have a pretty solid advantage. So I don't really know what the order is going to look like for true finals, but I think setting the tone early with set 1, whether that be an early round between, what ends to be kind of like the lower TR of the team or the higher TR of the team, is definitely going to make an impact going forward.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it is really important for the Stare team to just play the set out the way they did, to just establish momentum early, so that way they can ride it forward into the bracket reset. For sure. And yeah, but Westel at point, a bit of a high-risk play, but I understand the motivation behind going through it, forcing them to set out like that. But I think it was also just like, the reason why that happened was because Vince was sent out at point in the first place, and so Deer Team 2 needed to find a suitable answer that was the right balance of risk and reward. And I don't think I don't know if they're gonna send Westel again. I also don't think they're gonna send out Shark either. I mean, but they might send Westel. Is that if Team Stare sends out Vince's pointer again, if they send Vince at point again, I don't know.
Yep, and it appears that a lot of our players have been staying well hydrated, still going to get more water at this point. And I recommend as well for all of you watching this event, make sure to stock up on your, snacks and drinks and everything like that, because this could still be a long one.
Yeah, I've already stocked up on my water well beforehand, because I knew this would be a long block.
And in typical Tetrio Teams Cup fashion, I went and checked the length of top 8 from our last round. It was actually about 3.5 hours, so we are on pace for about the same.
Yeah, we're already 3 hours into the stream right now, so that about checks out. It's been a good 3 hours, though. It has been very intense, and it's been so nice to see it.
Absolutely. And again, I will stress as well one more time that, again, these players are putting their hearts out into the bracket. If you want to help support them, please do donate to our match arena if you do feel so compelled to do so. Again, these payouts are going directly to our players. First place taking, I think, 45% of the cut, second taking 35%, and third taking 20%. And we are actually relatively close to Tato's hosting another tourney where, hold on, what is that goal set at? Is that
1434, so like $200 more and some change.
Something around there, yeah. A couple more, and we might be able to hit that goal as well. I have a feeling the I Do Something redeem, which was at $300, might be done a couple of times, depending on.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Given that we've pretty far surpassed that donation goal. And
yeah, a lot.
Oh boy. All right, and I think at the moment we're just giving both teams a little bit of a breather, which I think is very well deserved.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, thanks for handling the ad reads, paying the bills, and all that.
Yeah.
I need to get used to that again.
And also, this is also just a little bit of kind of a side note as well for those not aware, because I'm probably going to forget a couple of names here, but I do want to emphasize there's a lot of players that have participated in this tournament that have content not only that are streaming on Twitch, like Gohan is live right now actually.
Let's go Gohan!
But a lot of players, like I know within this group, I think Kasane Teto is probably the most active outside of Gohan, because Gohan's been doing a lot on YouTube as well. But many other players that made it into our top 8 that make content pretty regularly on YouTube. So I'd recommend if you had any of these players catch your fancy that obviously didn't get a lot of screen time, but do please check out a lot of them as they're making a lot of great content and keeping the YouTube scene thriving. I know I don't really get to call a lot of people out, and kind of only Teto and Gohan in this case, because guess what? They made it to grand finals. But there are plenty more that I didn't get a chance to call out earlier. So I just want to,
Yeah, Vincent Reviclia do YouTube content as well. She's Wiz does Twitch streams. Westall probably does content to some extent. I know OSW has a Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah, Hamburger is another one that I've seen a lot. I don't want to I feel bad for calling some people out because I know I'm gonna miss others. But I can guarantee if you look through top 8, you will find at least 4 to 5 other content creators that I just haven't had the time to talk about.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It's just there's so many beautiful, talented people in this scene that it's impossible to highlight everyone. But
if you're watching the chat, please you're allowed to raise your hand and plug your stuff. Unless Tato says don't, but I'm saying do, so you can yell at me for that.
Let's go, Davo. Take your one for the team.
If it was an incorrect call, that's on me. We're also giving these teams a little bit of a break, so I think that's a fine bit here. All right.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need a breather after the sets that they've had already. It's the third set between these two teams.
Are there any info plugs we do? Oh, yeah, we got... Okay. I think we'll be starting in a little bit. We've got plenty of people awaiting fate. Oh, did it? I don't know. I haven't been trying to put in any Pokemon.
Tato's told them to choose the Pokemon. Steve, this is your fault. If we went along our... This is not Undertale, Cheese Whiz. That's not going to work. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I think we have enough people in U.S. time that it's not going to be too much of a factor. Although I will say, Gohan, Turtle, and how many other players still in this bracket that are staying up to the wee hours of the morning or potentially had to wake up insanely early in this bracket. I know Dormy has already gone to sleep, but again, it's also probably very late in Europe at this point.
Yeah.
It's probably, I mean, now it's probably, 1, 2 a.m., something around there?
Yeah, I mean...
I forget if it's 5 or 6 hours. It changes.
Yeah, I mean, Team Stare, they're all so talented, but it's just the time zone of it. It's starting to get really late for all of them. Vince is in the Philippines, Lita and Turtle are both in South Korea, Gohan's in Japan.
Wait, there's a Battlefy coin flip function? Is that a thing? Does that exist?
Well,
I didn't know that.
We don't have access to it, but maybe.
I mean, I don't have on this bracket, so I wouldn't be able to figure it out. But if that's the case, that is quite something. Was that a recent update?
Oh, okay. Dear Team won the coin flip, apparently, according to Gohan. Which makes sense. I think if Stare Team wins the coin flip, they send out Vince. And I think if Dear Team wins, they send out...
but does winning mean that you pick the player or no? Because there was this issue first, because I think it's Dear Team wins, so Stare picks first, right?
Right. Sorry, my bad.
I don't know. I mean, if you think that you have the advantage by picking first, you pick... I think most people are we'll let the other team pick first.
No, that actually makes so much sense to be able to counterpick. I just saw what happened with Team Stare in the previous set, where they sent out Vince first, and then, like, their Team 2 felt compelled to counterpick with Westel, and it didn't work out so well. But, I mean, I don't know. You're entirely right that it is, like, in 99% of cases, better to pick second to, like, counterpick. It's just, you know, sometimes, like, one team has a higher talent.
Okay, so I believe Gohan wanted Vince, but it looks like they're gonna have Turtle go first, and this might just be like a I need sleep kind of thing, but I think Turtle is gonna go play first.
Okay, interesting. We're going. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised.
That is number 3 that is getting sent out first.
Yeah, I'm surprised it is Turtle going first here because Vince going first worked out so well in that previous set, but it does make sense. Like, I think in previous sets, Turtle was the anchor, so setting them to point just really goes to demonstrate the flexibility of these teams. For sure. So it'll be interesting to see what Deer Team counterpicks with, if they counterpick with Westel or Shark or someone else even. That'll be interesting to see for sure. Bruh.
All right, so it appears we've. Wait,
how do you just send a blank message in Tetrio?
You don't know how to send a blank message in Tetrio?
Oh, is it the same as on Discord, or is it like?
You give it a try. Yeah, so it looks like it's just hit spacebar.
Oh.
There you go. All right, and it looks like we're gonna have hilarious. Turtle versus Shark as our first matchup. Okay. This is gonna set the tone for the rest of the set. Remember, the team that won the first game won the set. So this is a very critical game to have.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they are sending out Shark first, which both players really showing the flexibility here, sending out the people that they had as anchors in the past at the point, and Shark doing really good, so the back-to-back times 9 now with the S-spin times 10. Turtle really on the back foot right now.
T-spin single well. Well, Shark having to use Surge on the defense, but does send Turtle up a substantial amount, but Turtle is still alive and kicking.
Yeah, Turtle's still coming back from this. Digging their way down. That looks like the Shark handle. Yeah.
Gets a clutch clear, but it enough to get through all of that garbage. Turtle takes the first game. The anchor Shark is now out of the bracket, with Westel not really having any anchor role to fill in after their performance. But again, Turtle, I will give credit where credit's due, though. Turtle is third ranked in TL for a reason.
Yeah, I think they might feel compelled to send in Westel again.
Do you send in Westel now? Again, sending Westel in early is a risk, but Westel has gone 4 for 4 before.
Yeah, it is an extreme risk, and it didn't pay out in this. It didn't pay out in that first set, rather. Sorry, it's been a long block. I'm getting tired. Okay. But I mean, it's hard to stay entirely tired when we got this much action all in your face all at once. It's just such an amazing tournament that it has been so far. It makes me so sad it's about to end soon.
Well, I think in some people's cases, they're glad that it's going to end because they're going to get some well-needed rest.
Oh, for Team Stairs especially, that's like... they want this to end now. Yeah,
right, Westel has unspectated themselves, so I believe that's going to be the matchup. Turtle versus Westel. If Turtle wins this, it is a huge momentum gain for Team Stare.
Oh, it is huge. I feel like OSW and Coldless are both capable of taking rounds against like Turtle and Gohan and Vince or whatever. It's just not enough of a likelihood.
You don't want to rely on that. You do not want to rely on that.
And that's why they're not. But Turtle, with the back-to-back times 8 now, back-to-back times 10.
Oh, Westel goes for a little bit of an early surge, has a misdrop. Barely able to get down the IP just in the nick of time.
Westel able to survive that, still cheesed up to the point where Turtle has back-to-back times 31 spike. How is that a 31? And Westel somehow survived that already at the bottom of the board. I am losing my mind. And that was 18 for
Turtle
Turtle.
almost with the miss drop, but had a very fantastic forecast, and that's a win over Westel. Turtle is 2-0 over the top 2 players, and Team Stare finds himself once again in a very favorable situation.
That was absolutely ridiculous. 278 APM coming out from Turtle in that round just now. I don't even know. That's just ridiculous. And Westel had such good downstacks, but Turtle was just building up the surge so quickly and releasing them all at the perfect times always. Just played so perfect that round. That is a huge momentum shift for
and so it's
Stare.
And again, like OSW was top 20 for a reason, but if OSW goes down to Turtle, they have Coldless and Cheese Whiz to take down the rest of Team Stare, and that is terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's already terrifying as it is, just because, like... yeah, that's why. Yeah. OSW is such an incredibly strong player, but it's just... not enough.
You know, I know Gohan initially wanted to send in Vince first, but apparently Gohan got a DM from Turtle asking to go first. And I think Turtle knew what they were doing when they said, "Put me in, coach, I'm ready to play."
Dude, Turtle is playing so good right now. Like, just... not only do they have... Yeah.
Turtle has the unprecedented potential to sweep a Grand Finals bracket reset, where set 1 was game 9.
Yeah, set 1 of Grands was game 9, and Turtle's team lost in winners finals. So the sweep would be ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'll call this out as well. In winners finals, this was 5-4 in Deer Team 2's favor. And then, which it went in typical fashion of low TR to high TR. Then in grand finals, both players set in relatively high level TR that went down to the lower TR, and then that was 3-5 in Stare's favor. And now with true finals, again, we've had a similar situation of sending in the high TR first, but Turtle is 3-0 right now, keeping Stare at 5 members alive. And it is between Coldless and Cheese Whiz to try and get a 5, basically take out 5 players and only have one of them go down. Coldless right now is going to be the player sent in first. That's a lot of hefty pressure. Turtle timing that.
Turtle always says so much. Coldless has nothing to do. This is, that's just over. 4.6 PPS. Even after, like, Turtle's kind of, like, messing around for a little bit there. Because, like, we already knew that Turtle won that. And Turtle plays so good.
Turtle's still playing 4.6. 4 games straight. Has defeated the top 4 players of Deer Team 2, but it is down to the last remaining OG Deer Team member, Cheese Whiz. But the amount of games they're going to have to win, having to defeat Turtle just to start, is going to be a Herculean task, not to mention the rest of Team Stare.
God, dude, imagine if Cheese Whiz just swept the entire team and won the whole bracket. Dude, I'll donate 10K to the pot if Cheese Whiz does that.
Okay, well, I don't think you needed to add any more pressure, but I mean, you know, well, it's there. If you want to multiply the prize pool by another 10x, you can get a reverse sweep.
Actually, wait, no, I take it back, I just realized that the other team can throw. I just realized, yeah. No.
I guess they would have been financially incentivized to throw, but I still would not have thrown.
Yeah, they would have been extremely financially incentivized to throw there. Let's not. I'm sorry, Taters. I'm sorry, players. Let's not do that.
All right, so yeah, I guess I didn't consider that. Yeah, 10x of the prize pool really would be heavily incentivized to throw. Okay, so there'll be a pot bonus, I guess, if you get the reverse sweep, but it will be enough that it's not financially incentivized. It'll be whatever the amount is below that, I guess. I don't know. Well, I'm not contributing, so I shouldn't make that claim.
Dude, they're talking as if it's serious. No.
All right. Oh, and now Turtle's asking to wait a little bit. What is the...
I urge you to reconsider.
I mean, to be fair, like, I don't know if if Turtle is thinking about doing anything particular for this match, but also I will like to emphasize Turtle has the chance to sweep a Grand Finals reset bracket, which has not been done in a team's tournament before. Like, this is the chance for Turtle to be like the greatest MVP that the Tetrio scene has seen to date, and also doing so while being on basically no sleep.
She's already coming out of the gate real strong with that PCO. Doesn't do as much as it did in Season 1, though. But,
Does the comeback begin?
I wasn't paying that.
Cheese Whiz takes one.
I wasn't paying that much attention to Turtle's board, so I don't...
Turtle had 2 misdrops right in the center. So Cheese Whiz, I believe this is Cheese Whiz's first game, potentially. Actually, no, it's not. Actually, that's a lie. Did Cheese Whiz win before?
Cheese Whiz better than Westel, confirmed.
Well, definitely within our top 8. I think this might be Cheese Whiz's first win. But now Vince is coming in. Number 5 globally in Tetra League. But number 3 has gone down to Cheese Whiz. All right, both players starting with TKI. Cheese Whiz, I think, is going to be trying to work with the power of the LST. Getting a heavy surge to start, but has to break it early due to the P sequence. And the Z-Miss drop. Is this how it's going to end? Yes, it is. And Vince HD taking 1 over Cheese Whiz solidifies the bracket reset comeback of Team Stare with, I believe, an even more dominant 5-1 difference. Team Stare takes it over Deer Team 2 to win Nucleus, sponsored by Tetrio Teams Cup, with a $1,000 prize pool bonus.
Yeah, definitely. Just what a great comeback. For sure.
Again,
besides that, PC didn't even have to play in the bracket, like in the grand.
That was just an incredible turn of events. Again, this is part of, I think, what makes this format so interesting. You never know what kind of upsets are going to be happening when this tournament goes live. And even though we had a lot of our, tops to get into our top 8, there were still so many upsets plentifully around the board that you really have to be on your toes at every step of the way. But Turtle, what a performance for finals, with a really strong carry there for Team Stare. And hold on, actually, before you switch the cameras, I'll put the light on so you can actually quick. Enough time has passed that you can't really see me anymore now, but all right, there we go. And holy cow, what a showcase there from all of our teams tonight. Props to obviously all of our teams and to Team Stare, especially for the bracket reset comeback. That is incredible.
Yeah, just it's such a great collection of talent for all of these teams all throughout. But yeah, like you're saying, especially Team Stare, just such a great collection of talent and the synergy all throughout that. It's just so nice to watch. So many sets that went down to the wire. It's like the whole fate of the team rides on one person. And it was one of my favorite events to commentate in a long time, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think as well, even before we started having particular summer events, like Fractal from last year, I think we did have the privilege of casting it up together, and glad to be back with the mic on. Good team. So.
It was great to commentate with you, Davo. Thank you for carrying me through this.
Okay, to be fair, we kind of had to carry each other because there was so much going around over the top 8. So many deciders, so many upsets. I mean, this is just a crazy, incredible format. Shout outs again to Tatos and Capor Beta for doing much of the heavy lifting on staffing, running stream, and everything in between. It really, it usually takes an army, so having a 2-man army is very difficult to run a tournament on. But I mean, as you can see from the production value and everything else, they've really done a lot of work to put on this event.
Yeah, no, it's working out really well. Yeah, like you were saying, shout outs to Big Man Tatos, Capboard Beta, everyone who played today, and to you for watching. We really appreciate it out here. We were hitting Twitch partner numbers. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, and again, big shout outs to everyone who donated to the prize pool, especially for the quote-unquote anonymous donation of $1,000 to our prize pool. I know for a fact that a lot of our players tonight are very happy for that donation, and I guarantee it's going to be going to very good use from all of our top talent here. And of course, we got our little bit of credits here. I think also a little bit involved in production and everything. So, and
Yeah,
I
thank
guess
you so much.
Camarena is back. So welcome back in. Team Stare won with bracket reset, which I will also point out. This is the second tournament in a row where we've had a team advance into grand finals and then lose via bracket reset 2 times in the grand finals. So we'll have to see next year if that's going to be a 3-peat. Just something interesting to point out as well.
I mean, this format kind of lends itself to it, so we'll have to see. But yeah, no, thank you for all the donations, especially that $1,000 add-on donation from earlier. That's just absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. Because now Team Stare is going to get like $100 per player or something crazy like that. So thank you so much. And thank you to Osk for front page in the tournament. Really appreciate that. That means a lot.
Yeah, definitely got a lot of players involved, especially from top talent as well, which, again, made top 8 as exciting as it was. So thank everyone who not only coming out to watch Nucleus, but also offering to play in it as well. We had some really great action, both off stream and on our top 8, obviously. I would say probably we could raid Gohan, or I guess, if Gohan's still streaming, I'd say raid into Gohan. But I also know depending on the day, sometimes they might end stream, but it looks like they're going to keep stream going.
Dude,
so
there's no way.
Now, I think the second stream that Gohan is able to get raided after a tournament. So be sure to keep on the good Tetris vibes once we do raid into Gohan. They definitely deserve it. And what a performance overall from everybody tonight. Very happy with how it turned out.
Oh yeah, no, I'm super happy with how this tournament turned out. It was such a great time. So I mean, yeah, I guess we're gonna be hopping off soon. So I mean, yeah, thanks for sticking with me, Davo. I mean, where can we find you?
Well, at the moment, I haven't been able to stream too frequently. Usually I'll do streams like every so often. I'll probably be able to tell more about it on TWC stuff because I'll probably be more active later this year. But yeah, that's probably the most reliable point. I did make a little bit of a short from the Stackies of Warrant based on Garbo's crash out, so I would appreciate if you want to check out on YouTube that 3.5-minute edit is up there, if you do feel so compelled.
I'm gonna have to check that out then.
I do want to plug that because I know Garbo, but I think that didn't much outside of Garbo circle.
Let's go Garbo, my dog.
And for Fitzy, any more content from you? Where should people look?
So yeah, my username is just either Fitzy or FitzyZM on like any platform you can think of. Honestly, I don't do Tetris as like my main thing as much anymore like I used to. I just speedrun all sorts of games, but I also love JRPGs and I still do Tetris content like all the time. I still play this game all the time. I still love it very much. So if any of that sounds like anything interesting to you, be sure to send some attention my way. I try to stream sometimes. I try to stream as often as I can, but I do work, so not all the time. You know how it is.
It's like hard to have streaming as a full-time job when you have a full-time job.
Yeah, really. Yeah, exactly.
And then, but I think that'll do it for the two of us. Tatos, I don't know if you want to unmute, have any final words before we raid out to Gohan in a little bit here.
Yeah. So before I raid, once again, shoutouts to everyone here on credits, and we did reach like a $300 prize pool goal for me to do something.
We definitely did.
I mean, we're still pretty close to reaching the other stretch goal. I might have to.
So like,
what was that, Trino, again?
There's a Discord channel, and I lack ideas, so react with one of the ideas with a potato and I'll probably do it, unless it's like god awful.
Yeah, it reached like 1,200, so you gotta do like 4 do somethings. Probably, unless. Whatever you want to do, man. Yeah, you've already done more than enough for us all.
I think that's about it.
Alright, and that is it from us here for Tetrio Teams Cup. Take care, everyone, whether that's morning, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on your time zone. And we'll see you again in the next Tetrio event.
All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you all over on Gohan's stream. Peace out. Have a great day.